The awakening ceremony begins now in Awakening Square, a large and prepared place. In the square, students touch the stele to awaken their professions as a blacksmith or bricklayer. Feng Yong appears, thinking that these life professions are rubbish and that a support one would be less boring. His friends praise him because, unlike them, Feng has awakened as a great sword warrior. Meanwhile, our hero accidentally bumps into the shoulder of the blonde bully, who gets angry. One of the henchmen then shouts, asking if the boy doesn't have eyes and how dare he bump into Brother Feng. The protagonist calmly apologizes and says that he is just in a bit of a hurry at the moment. This unexpected attitude leaves the two brutes somewhat surprised and without an immediate reaction. Feng Yong recognizes the boy, and his lackey asks if he could be some young master for being so arrogant. With a careful look, the blonde only confirms the question about the mysterious young master. Lin Han then walks to the stele and reveals that he is the remaining member of the exterminated Lin family. Feng Yong mockingly says that it is a shame because he was a prodigy, but now he is just a dreamy trash. The hero simply smiles, completely ignoring the envious man's provocations. He thinks the bully is just a weakling who barks, and that awakening a rare profession doesn't make him special. Placing his hand on the stele, Lin Han says he's going to show everyone there what true talent is. Immediately, an immense golden light appears, and a divine figure appears, causing everyone to be astonished. Feng's henchman becomes desperate and asks his boss what's going on with that light. Another student is impressed by the never-before-seen light and wonders if the boy is a genius. Feng Yong shouts that it's impossible for that trash to cause a phenomenon, and that if he ascends, he'll become a joke. The stele then reveals the result, which is a special inherited hidden profession, Beastmaster. Two girls comment that it's a waste to be a Beastmaster and question whether he's a genius or trash. We remember that Lin Han was once the eldest young master of a powerful top family. However, 3 years ago, the Lin family was completely destroyed during a beast tide. The original host of the body ended up dying of sadness after losing everything. Tragically, it was at this exact moment that our current protagonist ended up transmigrating to this new world. He even obtained a special system that could only be activated after finally awakening. The system activates, and the boy cries with joy because he waited 3 years and finally has a cheat. His status screen appears showing Lin Han Beast to Mare Level 1 and very high attributes. The system informs him that the awakening was complete, and a mission appears to spend 100,000 coins. He complains that he barely got the money, and the system already wants it but accepts it to see the tricks. Suddenly, he is transported to a starry place and asks where he is, and the mission is complete. With a smile on his face, the boy is clearly surprised by the rapid unfolding of events. The system congratulates him for unlocking the super-powerful mode and an ultra-rare beast for him. He reflects that every 10 levels he can hire a beast, and a wrong choice affects its power. Without money for another beast, he trusts the ones from the system because they must not be bad and chooses one. He decides to take a chance and then selects one of the available options, wondering what will happen. A huge creature with glowing red eyes appears, and he gets excited about it. Your first beast. The system congratulates you for activating one of the 10 primordial ferocious beasts, the horned celestial ant. He spent 100,000 coins and gained an ant. He feels cheated and asks if he can get a refund. The contract is detected. The ant begins to evolve into its second form, and he screams about being forced. The complete evolution and combat form of the celestial ant is activated, revealing a warrior. With a smile, he says that it is a big surprise and that tomorrow's exam is already in the conversation. The next day, at the Dark Mountains training camp, the students begin Level 1. Training instructor Cao Chong appears and informs them that Professor Bai Bing had an emergency today. With the ant on his shoulder, he hears that the portal will take them to appropriate areas, but they must be careful. His friend Long Tian Jiao approaches, calling for little Lin with a smile on his face. He asks if Lin Han has already found a beast and if they can't go together, because he will help catch it. Feng Yong appears and mocks them, saying that needing help to catch beasts is truly pathetic. The blonde provokes Lin Han to bark like a dog, and maybe he will give him a crossbow out of pity. Our hero turns around and with a serious look asks the bully who he is calling a dog. Feng Yong gets angry, and with a vein popping out on his forehead, asks if the boy dares to mock him. Then the blonde advances with his clenched fist, shouting that the protagonist is done for and will regret it. But Lin Han easily dodges the bully's blow with an agile and effortless movement. Our hero's hand firmly grabs Feng Yong's fist, stopping his attack in mid-air. With a mocking smile, Lin Han asks if that's all, and if the blonde didn't eat properly today. Feng Yong is shocked and wonders how a tamer has so much strength, and if Bai Bing helped him. At that moment, the instructor Cao Chong shouts for Lin Han and tells him to go to the portal right away. His chubby friend Long Tianjiao offers to go with him because it's not safe for him to go alone. Feng Yong appears and says that he has already spoken to Professor Cao and that Lin Han will not leave alive. Meanwhile, the instructor thinks angrily, how a brat dares to get so close to Bai Bing. He reinforces in his mind that this woman is destined to be his, and he will eliminate whoever gets in the way. Lin Han then approaches the shining portal alone, ready to face the challenge of the zone. A sign at the location indicates Swift Wolf Habitat, a silver training zone, level 11 to 20. The boy realizes that the wretch Cao Chong sent him here on purpose to harm him. Suddenly, a pack of wolves with bright yellow eyes appears, growling at the young man. Surrounded by the swift wolves, the hero curses the dangerous and unexpected situation he faces. With a smile, he tells his aunt on his shoulder to wake up because it is finally time for action. He still thinks that Cao Chong is not capable of killing him, and the small ant begins to glow. The creature on his shoulder then undergoes a luminous and rapid transformation, increasing in size. Her combat form of the horned celestial ant is activated, revealing a beautiful warrior. With long white hair and striking red eyes, she faces her enemies with seriousness. She says, "Master, I'm ready," and her status shows level 10 with impressive strength and agility. Lin Han smiles with bright eyes, and the system activates a mission to eliminate 10 ferocious beasts. The ant warrior advances quickly and lands a powerful punch on the snout of a fast wolf. She moves with grace and power, defeating the wolves one by one with her precise and strong blows. In moments, 7 wolves are on the ground, and she informs the master that she has already taken care of them all. The protagonist praises his primordial beast because in less than a minute she has cleared the enemies. He thinks that when she grows more, she will be incredible, and notices that she has already reached level 6. The ant returns to her small and cute form on his shoulder, calling for the master sweetly. He laughs and says that it would be foolish to compare status with her since she is one of the 10 primordial beasts. Stroking her on the head, he comments that it is difficult to associate her with the word ferocious beast. She looks like an innocent little girl, and blushes with the master's gesture, feeling comfortable and happy. 2 henchmen watch hidden, and one asks if Cao didn't say the target would be alone. The other replies that he doesn't know, but she's strong, and with that body and face, she's a rare beauty. One of them comments that she's very pretty, and his partner agrees that it would be a waste to eliminate her. The leader of the trio tells them to act carefully because the woman isn't weak and plans to get the boy. He then turns around and asks his 2 companions why they remained silent. Suddenly, the ant warrior appears behind the 2 henchmen, who freeze in pure fear and surprise. With a cold and penetrating look, she asks if they intend to hurt her master. One of the brutes screams in terror upon seeing the murderous expression of that powerful and lethal woman. The leader realizes that she defeated the other 2 and that she must be level 20. So he tries to run away. He runs as fast as he can to catch Lin Han and wonders who that boy is after all. As he runs away desperately, a wolf's paw almost hits him, and he screams in fright at the attack. The beast's paw hits him full on, throwing him violently to the ground and leaving him injured. Lin Han appears watching the scene, and the henchman on the ground screams desperately, asking him to stop. The protagonist then reflects on whether that training area is really recommended for low levels. A huge level 22 Swift Wolf King appears, and Lin Han notices his super powerful aura. Fallen and bleeding, the henchman begs our hero for help as his last hope for life. However, the Wolf King attacks the man without hesitation, quickly eliminating him with a fatal kick. A leader mission arises for Lin Han to eliminate the Swift Wolf King for 200 beast points. Faced with the powerful Wolf King, Lin Han realizes the difficulty and suggests retreating for now. However, when looking at his partner, the boy notices a smile and that she will not give in easily. So he decides to advance and orders his celestial aunt to attack the monster with full force. Immediately, the gigantic beast roars, showing its fangs and preparing for confrontation. His warrior is not shaken and lands a powerful punch on the snout of the huge white wolf. She grits her teeth with effort as she tries to hold the head of the wild creature. Even though she is small, the fighter clings to the wolf's nose under the dark and illuminated sky. Suddenly, the Wolf King uses the lightning step skill of Gale, disappearing into the distance. A moment. The hero's partner is hit by the surprise attack and screams in pain due to the force of the blow. An explosion occurs at the scene, and the protagonist watches the scene worried about his ally. Falling to her knees, the warrior faces the imposing Wolf King, who looks down at her threateningly. The creature shows its sharp blue claws, preparing for a new brutal attack. Then the monster unleashes a sequence of fast kicks wrapped in blue energy. The celestial ant defends itself from the multiple blows with difficulty, feeling the great pressure. Lin Han, worried, thinks that the difference in level is great and that she has no direct advantage. Irritated, the young man complains that these wolves do not fight fair, always using sneak attacks. At that moment, two smaller wolves try to grab him from behind, but he notices the movement. With agility, the hero grabs one of the beasts and says that they are too naive for that. He mocks them, thanking them for giving themselves up so easily to him right there. Then the boy uses one wolf to strike the other, and the battle mission updates to 9. With a sharp look, the protagonist prepares to face the remaining wolves around him. He advances and lands a precise punch in the mouth of another beast that was trying to bite him. After the impact, the system indicates that the first battle mission has finally been completed. The notification confirms that the 10 ferocious beasts have been defeated as the task requested. With 100 beast points gained, he shouts for his partner to use the frenzy strike now. Meanwhile, his companion is still bravely resisting the attacks of the powerful Swift Wolf King. The system spends 100 points and awakens the horned ant's frenzy strike with full damage. The small ant in its tiny form flies quickly towards the giant opponent. The Wolf King seems confused by the approach of the small creature and lets out a slight grunt. The enormous beast stares at the ant with surprise in its blue eyes, not understanding its tactic. Despite its size, the small warrior hits the wolf, causing a strong explosion of energy. The creature glows with a blue aura, and its muscles seem to swell, gaining more power. In an imposing pose, the celestial ant prepares to unleash its maximum strength. Contained, returning to warrior form, she screams and releases a wave of overwhelming and pure energy. Surrounded by dark energy, the fighter delivers the final blow with impressive force. The impact of the frenzy strike is gigantic, raising a cloud of dust and debris. The boss's mission is complete, and Lin Han is amazed at how the Wolf King was killed instantly. With a mischievous smile, the warrior in chibi form says that this is a real beast. The system warns about dropped weapons, and the boy asks if his partner was notified. The cute chibi form returns, and the notification informs that the frenzy strike has finally ended. With a happy face in her normal form, the warrior happily calls out to her beloved master. She hugs him tightly, celebrating having defeated the big dog, and he asks her to calm down, laughing. The protagonist feels something new with the tight and unexpected hug of his loyal companion. Completely blushing, he wonders if this is what this feeling is like as she hugs him happily. Suddenly, the celestial ant says that she is very tired with a very sleepy expression. Her eyes close slowly, and she repeats that she is very sleepy after the hard fight. She returns to her chibi form and falls asleep on his lap, and the young man comments that this is normal. He thanks her for her effort and lays her down on the ground, and she agrees, still very sleepy. The hero notices that monsters give items like in the games of his past life, and gets excited. Anxious for the rewards, he touches the system screen that starts processing the data. He goes crazy with his luck when he sees a silver-quality sword with a level 10 requirement. A bronze ice staff then appears that can make a good amount of money if he sells it there. He plans to hunt more to level up and collect items to sell, and then decides to check his current level. The system shows that he is a level 10 beast tamer and has reached the maximum level to evolve. Surprised, the boy notices that killing the Wolf King maximized his experience and he no longer needs to hunt there. Before leaving, he decides to talk to the two guys still alive to find out who sent them. With a smile, the young man thinks that things won't be boring for a long time, and this cheers him up. A few hours later, a portal opens, and the medical team is informed that the test students will return. An instructor tells everyone to prepare for the exams and treatments, but not everyone will be so lucky. Suddenly, the instructor named Chao Chong is surprised by a voice that calls him with anger and fury. Professor Bai appears and the students question her presence because she had another commitment today. Cao Chong says that they are just welcoming the students back and that he can take care of everything alone. The girl then asks about Lin Han's test and if the instructor doesn't owe her a clear explanation. The man replies that he knows about her closeness to Lin Han, but instructors should treat everyone equally. He then suggests that she accompany him to a private place to discuss and share experiences. Immediately, a metallic sound echoes in the place as the teacher shows her growing and visible irritation. She points a knife at his neck and demands an explanation about his previous actions now. With his hands up, the instructor pretends not to understand and asks what. What does she mean by that? Annoyed, she says that Lin Han barely woke up and he sent him to the silver-level training zone. The teacher asks if he thinks he can mistreat Lin Han just because his family is gone and he is alone. The man pushes the knife away and claims that she misunderstood because he had his own reasons for doing so. He justifies himself by saying that Lin Han needed difficulties to level up and even got 3 assistants to help. The girl threatens him by saying that he better pray for Lin Han to return safe and sound or there will be consequences. She warns that if he gets hurt, she will rip off the same part of the instructor's body to heal him. Scared, he agrees, but in his mind he curses her and says that she is just acting tough there. He thinks that when she sees Lin Han's body, her arrogance will disappear, and this pleases him greatly. The instructor has indecent thoughts about the teacher, imagining a chance to get closer to her soon. Suddenly, someone shouts that the people who participated in the test have finally returned to the safe place. Leng Lingshui from Class 6 appears, and everyone, they say she was the first to complete the difficult test. A blonde boy approaches and says that it was expected that the number 1 in the school would finish before him. He tries to get closer to her, suggesting that the 2 geniuses in the school should get to know each other better. The girl dodges his touch with a cold expression, and he ends up missing the unwanted physical contact. She says that if it were the old Lin Han, she would consider it, but with him, she can forget the idea. The blonde boy gets irritated by the rejection and the direct response from the powerful storm mage right there. Meanwhile, hurried footsteps are heard, and someone runs towards the return portal right now. Lin Han's chubby friend arrives out of breath and asks if little Lin has already returned from the dangerous test. Feng Yong says that he didn't expect the fat boy to survive, and that Lin Han definitely died in there. The protagonist's friend is furious with the blonde's words and stares at him with great anger and hatred. He challenges him to repeat, and Feng Yong says that Lin Han died because he was a weak and trashy tamer. At that moment, the instructor Cao Chong shouts, telling the fat boy to shut up immediately. They're present. The man asks if Lin Han is his father and tells him to stop worrying and focus on his strength. Then the instructor tells him to get out of the way so as not to block the other students who are still returning. Lin Han's friend walks away, grumbling that little Lin will surely be back soon anyway. An hour passes and the wait continues at the site, with all the students having already returned earlier. 2 students massage Feng Yong, thanking him for his work and asking about the pressure he felt. The chubby friend wonders why everyone returned except little Lin, who has not yet appeared. A student comments that he must have died in there and that it would be an honorable death for a tamer. Suddenly, a rock flies at high speed towards the group that was mocking the absent boy. The rock hits the talkative student and Feng Yong, who scream at the impact of the hard object. To everyone's surprise, Lin Han finally appears at the portal with a confident smile on his cheerful face. Lin Han appears and asks when the school got so many noisy dogs because he lost track of time. The chubby friend quickly runs towards him and shouts in relief that the brat finally returned right there. The classmate punches the boy on the shoulder, saying that the little devil scared him, while Teacher Bai watches Instructor Chao Chong with his arms crossed, wonders what happened because he sent 3 to take care of the young man. The man thinks that Lin Han got lucky this time, but he won't let him get away that easily. Then Feng Yong provokes him by asking what a tamer without pets can do and if he just hid. Furious, the chubby friend shouts, "If Feng Yong has gone crazy and if he thinks everyone is a coward like him," with a mocking smile, the blonde replies that he will soon find out if he is a coward or not, and then continues. He points to Lin Han and calls him a useless tamer who hid trembling in the mountains out of pure cowardice. The protagonist then asks if Feng Yong has finished barking, leaving his friend quite surprised by this. With a confident look, the young man says that with his skills he is not even good enough to clean his beast's shoes. Feng Yong is completely angry with the provocation and questions if he is really so different from what he thinks. He proposes a bet to see who has the highest level worth 100,000 coins or if kneel like a grandfather. The boy accepts and says he will slap him to the center of the earth while his friend asks him not to be impulsive. He then turns to Instructor Cao and asks him not to interfere because it is something between the two boys. Of course, the supervisor agrees, but warns them that they must keep their word because integrity is valued at the school. With a mischievous smile, he thinks that Lin Han asked for this and doesn't mind passing the knife to him. Now Teacher Bai notices Lin Han's look and aura and realizes that the brat is trying to deceive someone there. Satisfied, the instructor declares that since the bet is made, they can start the dispute immediately. Then the chubby friend decides to participate too and says that he is Lin Han's brother, revealing himself to be a berserker level 2. Feng Yong mocks the level 2 and shows his level 3. Greatsword warrior like a true genius. The other students are impressed by Feng Yong's level 3 and call it incredible and very rare. Lin Han's friend is worried because he didn't expect Feng Yong to have reached the level 3 so fast. Feng Yong then calls Lin Han, saying that if the weakling Long Tianjiao is level 2, he can't be bigger. With a loud laugh, he says that the two should kneel down and call him grandfather right away. The chubby one asks what he's bragging about, but Lin Han stops him, asking him to wait a little longer. The companion questions, and Lin Han says not to worry because he doesn't take the blonde's strength seriously. He then reveals his power and says that even if he dropped a level, he would still be far ahead as a level 10 tamer. The crowd is completely shocked to see that the boy reached the impressive level 10 so quickly. Calmly, Lin Han stands there with the aura of a level 10 beast tamer shining brightly around him. Feng Yong doesn't believe it and wonders how a useless tamer could become so strong in such a short time there. He accuses Lin Han of cheating, because not even Ling Sui, the best student, could do that, and it must be his lie. With a smile, the young man asks if, just because he can't do it, others can't either, and if he's ever heard of a hidden class. He reminds the instructor of the promise, and asks him to make sure Feng Yong doesn't run away from the bet he made just now. The boy ironically thanks the assistants who protected him and helped him reach level 10 of power. Cao Chong panics when he realizes that Lin Han knows about the men he sent and fears being badly knocked down. He thinks about all the hard work he's put into getting to his position and how he can't let a brat ruin it all. Determined, the instructor decides that he needs to shut the boy up forever on that very day and place. Ling Sui watches and wonders if Lin Han has really reached level 10 and if he's the former #1 genius. She reveals herself to be a level 5 storm mage and states that she'll reach it sooner or later for sure. The young man turns to Professor Bai and asks what brings her here, since she had important matters before. The girl smiles and replies that her business is over, and since it's her job, she couldn't ignore the situation. The chubby boy praises Lin Han to the teacher, saying that with more time, he will truly be invincible very soon. Teacher Bai makes a thoughtful expression upon hearing the excited words of Lin Han's friend about his power. Suddenly, Cao Chong advances behind Lin Han, shouting for him to die, and with clear murderous intent, Teacher Bai reacts quickly and pushes Lin Han away, shouting for him to be careful with the dirty blow. She blocks the instructor's punch and questions him about attacking a student, which is against the rules of the academy. Angry Cao Chong shouts at Bai Bing not to try to use the academy's regulations against his nefarious actions. He states that he needs to take down Lin Han today and manages to land a blow on the teacher during the direct confrontation. With the impact of the blow, the teacher is pushed back and tries to balance herself on the ground quickly right there. The teacher retaliates with a kick and shouts that as long as she is there, he will not achieve anything anyway. The chubby friend shouts at Teacher Bai to hold on tight, while Lin Han notices that she is at a disadvantage there. Furious Cao Chong complains that she defends Lin Han and that his feelings for her were a total waste. With force, the teacher is thrown back. The instructor smiles at the girl lying on the ground and says he will charge her some interest first right there. Quickly, a boot is about to hit the instructor's face. Suddenly, Lin Han appears and lands a powerful kick on the instructor's face. Before she falls to the ground, the protagonist manages to hold Teacher Bai in his arms and supports her. The young man asks the girl if she is okay, and she answers a little embarrassed that everything is fine. Lin Han asks the fallen instructor what the kick tastes like and threatens to use his level 10 power on him again. Cao Chong accuses the boy, saying he knows how he got to level 10 and that 3 assistants disappeared. The man shouts that the boy must have defeated the assistants to gain experience points in a dirty way. Then Cao Chong says that the young man is cruel and does not deserve to be a student, and that he will seek justice right now. Suddenly, the instructor stops his attack because something suddenly fell in front of him. Lin Han throws one of the assistants at Cao Chong's feet and asks if it was this man he loved so much spoke. The supervisor looks at the fallen assistant and wonders in shock if Ah Hao is really lifeless on the floor. The man then concludes that if Ah Hao didn't make it, the other 2 certainly didn't escape alive either. With an evil smile, the instructor thinks that this is perfect, because those who are gone can't witness anything. Cao Chong shouts to Lin Han that the body is there and asks what else he has to say in his defense. The protagonist smiles and says he didn't. Cao Chong shouts to Lin Han that the body is there and asks what else he has to say in his defense. The protagonist smiles and says he didn't want to see anyone dead on the mountain, so he decided to help there. With slow steps, he approaches and says that the man sent his brothers to the end and still doesn't admit it. Crouching down, he touches the face of the fallen assistant and says that the guy is a poor guy for being used like that. The instructor gets furious and thinks that if the assistant isn't satisfied, he can look for him in the other world. Angry Cao Chong advances and shouts that he will break the young man's limbs so he will learn not to talk nonsense. Teacher Bai and the chubby friend scream desperately, asking the protagonist to be careful with the attack. Suddenly, a red aura surrounds the two, and Lin Han says that the man will be forced to tell the whole truth. The instructor shouts for the young man to shut up and says that he is doing that to avenge his assistant, Ah Hao. In response, the protagonist releases his blue aura and asks if the instructor really wants to silence the witness. Other students start to scream and hope that Instructor Cao will teach that trash student a lesson. Then the man goes for it, with a series of quick punches aimed directly at the boy's face. The protagonist dodges all the blows with ease, while the villain wonders how he is doing this. Lin Han realizes that Cao Chong is very strong, but fighting him head-on is not a real problem. The young man then thinks that he can't just defend himself because he needs a more aggressive stance in the fight. Suddenly, an ice staff appears in his hand, and a system window informs him that it costs 10 mana to use. Before he can react, the instructor's leg is frozen, and he doesn't understand what happened there. Without wasting time, the protagonist steps hard on the ground and prepares to strike the enemy with the next blow. He then lands a powerful kick on the instructor's frozen leg, who screams as the ice breaks. The impact of the blow is so strong that a large cloud of dust and rocks rises from the rocky ground. The boy is satisfied because his strength has increased a lot after leveling up, and he can dominate Cao. With a smile, the young man thinks that he just needs to move away, and the rest will not be a problem for him to solve soon. He thinks that his attributes are weaker than Cao's, but winning with brute force was never his plan. Soon after, a small, blue, shiny creature appears in front of the protagonist, ready for battle. The creature then transforms into a woman with white hair, and a panel with her status appears for the young man. The woman advances to attack Cao Chong from behind, and the man turns around surprised, not knowing where she came from. With a quick blow, the woman hits the instructor squarely and throws him far away from the protagonist. The mysterious woman's attack collides with the instructor's energy, creating a large explosion of "Be happy?" The woman asks if she was obedient, and Lin Han asks her to be quiet and go back to being an ant. With a cute smile, the woman agrees to return to her small form and fulfills her master's request. She quickly transforms back into the small blue ant creature from before. The creature then flies towards the protagonist and lands calmly on his shoulder as if nothing had happened. Cao Chong stands up and accuses the young man of joining a stranger to attack him and asks about the woman. The man says that a student with a character as rotten as the protagonist's needs severe punishment. With his shirt tearing, the instructor shouts that the young man must be severely punished for everything that happened. Before he can attack, someone steps on his shoulder and stops him from advancing, leaving the man quite shocked. Lightning strikes the instructor while a voice tells him not to blame the students without first investigating. The instructor looks up completely shocked and wonders how that person appeared right there in front of him. An older man with white hair smiles, and the system reveals that he is the dean of the Level 55 Academy. 6. Seeing the dean, Cao Chong accuses Lin Han of killing the assistant so he can level up in the academy. He continues saying that the young man tried to attack him and that such a bad person needs to be punished right now. Cao Chong shouts that the witnesses and evidence are there, and then asks the dean to kill Lin Han once and for all. With a smile, the protagonist mocks, saying that all of that is nothing more than a blatant lie. The dean then turns around and asks the young man if he has any proof for what he is saying there. The older man then uses an analysis skill on the assistant's body to check everything. After analyzing the body, he says that the assistant's bones and internal organs are completely destroyed. The instructor shouts that even if the fatal blow was from a beast, it certainly has to do with the boy, with a smile on his face. Lin Han says that the instructor is just wasting time with all this accusation. The protagonist asks why the instructor doesn't admit that he sent the assistant and was betrayed in the end. Professor Bai then approaches and says that she saw the boy and his partner being blackmailed by Cao Chong. Desperately, the instructor shouts that he is an instructor and asks how he could hurt a student. He continues shouting that all of this is a lie from the boy and that there is no evidence against him now. The dean then says that accusing an instructor is a serious matter and asks the young man if he has any evidence. With a smile, the instructor thinks that whoever saw everything is already gone, and without witnesses, no one can accuse him. The boy then says that there is a way to get witnesses, and a blue portal appears in front of him there. Suddenly, two tied-up men appear along with a large blue wolf, leaving everyone surprised. Teacher Bai and her chubby friend are left speechless, not understanding where those people came from. The young man explains that the three were ambushing him, but ended up bumping into the Wolf King due to their bad luck. With a smile, he continues saying that one of them was caught by the wolf, and he managed to catch the other himself. The protagonist then kicks one of the prisoners and says that they both must know the answer to everything. The two men start screaming and confess that Cao Chong hired them to watch and finish off Lin Han. They scream that they can't take it anymore, and that it was all Instructor Cao Chong's plan to get rid of the boy. Little blue ants are biting the men's feet, and that's why they're screaming in pain. With an evil smile, the young man thinks it was too easy to make the two confess to the ants. The protagonist turns to the instructor and asks if he doesn't want to explain what's happening now. The instructor is shocked and thinks that those two idiots couldn't have confessed everything so easily. Suddenly, a blue magic seal appears on the instructor's chest, who is scared without knowing what it is. The seal shines and begins to electrocute Cao Chong's body, who screams in pain from the shock of the dean's magic. The dean says that as an instructor, Cao Chong tried to harm a student and violated the academy's rules there. With a serious look, the older man tells the instructor to prepare to receive the punishment he deserves. Professor Bai smiles in relief and says that the mistake has been admitted and that they can finally go home. The protagonist and the teacher watch as the dean walks away after resolving the whole mess. Suddenly, the blue-haired girl appears and asks if it was the protagonist who killed the Wolf King. She approaches and asks how he did it, and the young man asks his colleague to keep a little away. She then takes his hands and says that his class is long range and not hand-to-hand combat. With their faces glued together, she says that the only explanation is a powerful beast and calls him to a test fight. The boy thinks that it is not a good time for this, and that her personality is very different from what it seems. Teacher Bai then intervenes and separates the two students before the situation gets any weirder. The teacher says that she understands her desire to become strong, but now they need to rest and analyze. The blue-haired girl says that she is just curious about his fighting style, but the teacher denies the request. While the two argue, the protagonist tries to sneak out without anyone noticing his escape. He waves and says that everyone is tired and that it would be better if everyone went home to rest a little. The young man laughs awkwardly and comments that the weather is nice, while the two look at him angrily at his attitude. The teacher thinks about the mysterious woman and the new girl, and wonders if he has become a playboy now. She gets irritated and thinks that it has nothing to do with it because it has nothing to do with the boy after all. The blue-haired girl stops him again and says that he still hasn't answered the question she asked before. The boy smiles awkwardly and says that he's tired and that they can talk about it another time. The girl agrees to the promise, and the young man smiles in relief for having managed to escape that situation. He thinks that the girl has finally left, but wonders if she was angry with him for some reason. Later, the protagonist arrives at a trading house to sell the items he got on his journey. While a waitress serves coffee, he thinks about selling the items to pay the bills and a debt he has. Back in the city, the protagonist meets an older man and throws a card in his direction. The butler in a suit catches the card in the air with a very serious expression on his face. The young man says that this is the money that Sister Bing lent him, and that now she is returning it all with interest. He also sends a message to her family and tells them to never try anything against him again. The butler is shocked and wonders if this is really the old Lin Han who was the family's trash. At another moment, the young man shows a sword and a staff that he got from the Mountain of Dark Shadow. The store manager is surprised and asks the boy if there is a problem with his items. The man then asks if the young man's name is Lin Han, and he confirms by asking if they know each other. The manager laughs and says that he has been friends with the boy's father for over 10 years, and that he can call him Uncle Tian. Uncle Tian praises him and says that with this strength, the revitalization of the Lin family is not far away. With a smile, the boy wonders if he can trust him and takes the opportunity to ask for a higher price. The older man also smiles and thinks that the boy is young and that he can get a good deal. The two then look at each other with fake smiles and prepare to start negotiating the items. Uncle Tian offers 5 million dragon coins and says that it is a friendly price for him. The young man smiles and says that business is business and that these items are worth at least 8 million. They start to discuss prices, and the manager offers 5.5 million, but the boy asks for 7 or 8. Happy with life, the boy accepts the offer of 6,660,000 coins for the items. They shake hands and close the deal, but the manager feels that he was cheated by the boy in the end. The employee gives him 2 cards, one with the money and a VIP with a limit of 3 million. Uncle Tian says that he can come back whenever he has more items, and the young man thanks him for his help. With a chibi smile, the protagonist thinks about taking advantage and taking a look at the magic scrolls. 10 minutes later, the boy leaves and the manager watches him thinking about his great potential there. The older man smiles and thinks that in the future, he will have many chances to cooperate with the young again. The scene changes, and now an armored truck is parked in front of the protagonist's house on the street. Lin Han arrives and finds the butler from before, and asks what Uncle Liu is doing there. Now the butler introduces himself and says that it has been a long time since he last saw him, since the Lin family ended up falling. With a smile on his face, the protagonist asks the man what he wants in that place there. The butler says that Miss Bai captured a beast for him but was punished, and that is why he came to deliver it. The young man is touched to think that she really tried so hard to be able to help him with everything. Suddenly, the older man puts his hands on the truck door and says that he has a message from the master. The message says that the Bai family has done enough for him, and that now there is no more debt. With a malicious look, the butler tells the young man to never bother his young lady again. The protagonist is shocked by the sudden change in the older man's attitude in front of him. He then stops calling the man uncle and calls him only butler with a cold and distant look. The boy says he appreciates the help, but that he has never asked the Bai family for anything, not even in the past. He then turns his back and tells the butler to take the crossbow back and leave that place. With a serious look, he tells the man to tell the master that he does not need anyone's help. The butler smiles evilly and says that no one can refuse what the Bai family wants to deliver. He releases his aura and shouts that to refuse a gift, you first need to have the strength to do so. The protagonist's eyes glow red as he also prepares for the great battle. The butler is hit by a crushing pressure and is frightened without understanding what happened. A red fire aura surrounds the body of the young man, who stares at the man with a look of pure rage. The butler is pushed back by the pressure of the aura and wonders what the hell is going on. He thinks that Lin Han is just a beastmaster and wonders why he is feeling afraid of him now. Gritting his teeth, he screams that it is impossible for him to be pressured by a random boy like him. The scene then changes to show the facade of an apartment building on a calm, sunny day. Lying in his bed, the boy thinks that Sister Bing does not have good intentions, but does not like being forced. He then closes his eyes and decides that it is better to sleep before doing the transfer missions. While he sleeps, one of his pet ants appears and climbs onto his shoulder carefully. The small blue creature then climbs onto the face of its master, who is sleeping soundly. A strong light comes out of the window, indicating a new day that has begun there. He wakes up with his ant in its human form on top of him, calling him master with a smile. She then hugs her master, and the boy thanks her for having tried so hard the night before. The next day, the young man goes to the transfer temple, and the receptionist has already prepared a room for him. There, he hears some people gossiping about a beastmaster who became super strong out of nowhere. He is worried about the news spreading so much fast and decides he needs to be more discreet. With this in mind, the young man starts walking towards the room that was assigned to him in that place. Inside, he finds a huge blue crystal floating in the middle of the room and approaches it to see. The young man remembers that the receptionist told him to put his hand on the crystal to see his mission. He then touches the shiny object and wonders if the level 10 mission will be too difficult. The screen shows that the mission is level 5 and he needs to defeat some beasts. The level of the transfer mission is then confirmed as being 5 stars in difficulty. Outside, everyone is shocked when they discover that someone activated a 5-star mission. The young man puts his hand to his face and complains about his luck for having taken on such a difficult mission. The screen in the main hall shows everyone the 5-star mission that was activated there. A guy in the middle of the crowd screams and wonders who was the unlucky one who activated this mission. Fortunately, the young man celebrates inside because the system did not reveal his identity to the others. With a smile, he thinks that now that he has taken on the mission, it is better not to waste time and go logo. The scene changes to the Shattered Ruins, which is a place with a desert and mountainous landscape. Nearby, there is a mercenary meeting point with several soldiers and parked cars. A bald and strong man complains that if no missions appear, he will go hungry this month. Suddenly, the bald man notices something approaching the camp and becomes alert. The protagonist arrives at the camp, and the mercenaries keep an eye on the boy approaching. One of the men calls the boy a fat sheep and says it is time to open the business to make a profit. As the young man passes by, one of the mercenaries asks if he is there to do a mission. The bald man approaches and offers his services, with a guarantee and even a 20% discount. The boy walks right past him and says he does not need his help, leaving the man surprised by his refusal. The man insists and says they can negotiate the price and that he can even do it for free as a friend. Suddenly, the young man grabs the man's arm and says once again that he does not need his help. With his eyes shining, he warns the man to be careful with your arm if you keep annoying him. He then throws the man hard to the ground, who falls without being able to believe what happened there. The boy thinks that mercenaries who offer free things only want to steal and kill people. On the ground, the bald man becomes furious and shouts that he is going to end the life of that cheeky boy. Another man stops him and tells him to forget what happened, because it is not worth fighting. A red-haired woman hits the table and says that they should not let the boy leave like that. With an evil smile, she says that when he leaves the safe area, they will be able to have a lot of fun far away. The young man thinks that the place is very different from what he was used to seeing before. He then summons his aunt and tells her to leave because they are ready to start the mission. She says that she is ready, and the boy comforts her, saying that today she will be able to fight a lot. Suddenly, the system notifies the boy about a new mission that he activated without even realizing it. The mission is to kill the Apostle of Thunder and get the Heart of Thunder as a reward for the feat. He is happy because the reward is 300 points he can use to strengthen his aunt. The boy takes out his cell phone and thinks about buying information from Uncle Tien to find the Apostle. He then tells his aunt that they will first do the class transfer mission. A pack of level 15 wolves appears in the desert and prepares to attack the two there. The aunt takes action and begins to fight the wolves while dodging their attacks. After being defeated, the remaining wolves decide to attack the protagonist, who is alone. He smiles and takes out a fire scroll, asking if they want to face him right now. The young man then throws a huge fireball in the direction of the wolves and tells them to try their luck. With a smile, he thinks that the roasted wolf meat must be delicious to eat later. The wolves are completely terrified by the huge fireball that is now approaching them. The magic scroll then launches several fireballs that explode and hit the pack directly. The surviving wolves flee in despair, while the system warns about the deaths there. Another notification warns that he cannot gain more experience before changing class. The boy says that the mission is not over, and his scrolls will not let them escape like that. He then orders his aunt to speed up and finish off the remaining wolves once and for all. After the battle, he holds an energy crystal and smiles, satisfied with the result of the fight. The system shows that his aunt has reached level 15, and he regrets the lost experience. Despite this, he is not shaken and puts his hand in his pocket to get his cell phone and see something. He thinks that by now, Uncle Tian must have sent the location of the Apostle of Thunder. The message warns that the Apostle is very strong and that he should not go alone if he is weak. The young man then calls his companion and says that it is time to hunt the next target of the mission. Hidden, the red-haired mercenary observes the boy and thinks that he is rich for using scrolls. The bald man asks if they should attack now, but the boss says to wait a little longer. She explains that it is better to wait for him to get tired and get more energy stones before attacking. Following the map, they find the Apostle of Thunder of level 17 sleeping peacefully. The boy finds it strange that he is only level 17 and says that he does not seem like a big threat. Excitedly, he points to the monster and tells his aunt to defeat it so they can go home. The noise wakes the creature that gets up furious and faces the two intruders in front of it. Without wasting time, the ant advances and lands a powerful punch right in the face of the Apostle of Thunder. After the blow, it begins to glow and returns to its small blue insect form. It quickly digs a hole and hides underground to prepare the next attack. The Apostle is confused and looks around without understanding where its enemy went. Suddenly, it comes out of the ground with everything and lands a powerful hook right in the creature's chin. Seeing an opportunity, the protagonist grabs an ice scroll to end the fight. He throws the scroll that hits the Apostle squarely, causing massive damage to the creature. With a smile on his face, the boy tells the monster that it is over for him and his mission. Suddenly, a huge pillar of ice comes out of the ground and goes through the monster's body, defeating him. The system then notifies that the Apostle has been defeated, but he does not gain any experience. The ant says that it is tired, and the young man complains that the monster was weak but had a lot of life. But he is happy to have gotten 300 points just for defeating that monster there. He uses the points to awaken the Iron Bone ability for his faithful aunt. It begins to shine, and the system warns that the new ability increases its defense by 20%. Happy with the new power, she hugs her master, who warns her to be careful with the place. Suddenly, a shadow covers the two, and a voice says that the boy is very good at fighting there. The red-haired woman appears with her group and says that to survive, you need to have power and brains. The boy recognizes the bald man and asks if he came to seek revenge after the fight is over. The woman says that he will pay for having rejected them and tells him to hand over all his treasures. The young man stands up and asks if they are not afraid of being caught stealing there in the desert. She smiles and explains that this is an unsafe area and the patrol never shows up there. The woman says that if he disappears here, everyone will think that a monster took him. With an evil look, she says that she will take good care of him, and a henchman asks about the girl. Suddenly, he realizes that his aunt is no longer by his side and wonders where she went. The aunt appears silently behind the red-haired woman and prepares to attack with everything. With a quick movement, she grabs the arm of the mercenary, who didn't even have time to react. In an instant, she throws the woman to the side and knocks down all the henchmen with ease. The bald man is also thrown away, as if it were absolutely nothing. The remaining henchmen get up and decide to shoot the girl to try their luck. The bullets hit her body, but the iron bone ability is activated and protects her from the damage. On the ground, the woman is shocked by the girl's strength and realizes that she underestimated the enemy. The red-haired woman remains on the ground, completely panicked without understanding what just happened there. Smiling, the protagonist takes another scroll and says that now it is too late for them to escape. And then a huge explosion of light hits the remaining mercenaries, defeating them all at once. The only one standing complained that the girl is a monster and that the boy has infinite scrolls. The bald man then whispers to his boss that if they defeat the boy, they can still turn the game around. Confidently, he stands up and says that the young man is weak without his items and that he will fight him. Standing in front of them, the protagonist mockingly asks if they still dare to resist him. With a smile, he shows several scrolls and says that this weakling here has many skills. The young man orders them to hand over everything they have, and maybe then he will think about letting them go. With an evil look, he says that he will teach them about fear, and the woman calls him a thief. We see the large guild hall where missions are distributed. The receptionist comments on the boy who took the 5-star mission in the morning. Suddenly, she is surprised. It was the same boy from the mission, and he says he has already completed what he had to do. The girl is completely shocked and wonders if she heard what he said correctly. She then tries to compose herself and asks if he wants to know more about the mission, but the boy confirms that he really finished the task and is there to complete the process. Still in disbelief, she asks again, and he answers that it was actually quite easy. She then points to room 996 and tells him to go that way alone. The girl wonders if in a few hours he really did it and if it wasn't just a lie. However, a notification appears informing him of the completion of the mission. When she sees the announcement, the girl's jaw drops as she didn't expect it to be true. Other adventurers are also surprised and wonder who this strong guy could be. Meanwhile, our protagonist receives the notification that his transfer mission was a success. With a tap on the screen, he confirms his change class. Now his new profession is that of a beast scholar. Our hero is super excited, celebrating his new power, and feels that he has become stronger. His status screen shows that he is now level 10 with his attributes much higher. In addition, new skills have been unlocked, such as lightning wings and skill copy. The boy reads the new skills with a smile on his face and seems very satisfied with them. Then he decides to test the power of one of his new skills. An aura of lightning surrounds his body, and the boy begins to fly around the hall. He is surprised because flying is an advanced skill and he released it very early. His other skill allows him to copy the skills of his beasts for 5 minutes. This will be very useful in a difficult fight and can guarantee victory. Now he needs to choose the system reward for his class promotion. The options are Fusion Heart Induction and Malicious Float. The third option catches his attention because it is like an automatic radar for nearby enemies. He thinks that if he had this earlier, he would have avoided the surprise attack of the mercenaries without thinking twice. The boy confirms his choice and selects Malicious Float. A big yes is selected on the screen, confirming the acquisition of the new skill. He celebrates happily for having acquired such a useful skill. Soon after, a new mission appears, and he wonders what it is. The task is to capture a new beast, and the reward is 500 points. The boy begins to think that his current beast is good against only one enemy. He needs something with area attack and decides it is time to have a new companion. So he decides to go to the exchange office to sell his items and buy information. When he gets there, an old acquaintance is surprised to see him and asks if he found a treasure. Our hero shows a pile of treasures and says he met some generous people. The old man gets excited and calls 2 girls to help assess the value of everything. While the girls work, he thinks that, even though it is a lot, it is still little compared to what the mercenaries had. The total value is 1,300 coins, and the money is transferred to his account. The boy thanks them and asks if he has any tips about a beast of the electric type. The old man becomes thoughtful and tries to remember something. Suddenly, he seems to have an idea and snaps his fingers. He says that a high-quality bird appeared in a forest a few days ago. The beast may have an ancient lineage, and many who tried to capture it failed. The boy becomes super excited because it was exactly what he was looking for and asks for more information. A woman brings a box, and the old man says that they got a feather from the beast. The feather glows when it is near the bird, and our hero says he wants it. The protagonist is irritated by the price of the feather. The old man with a forced smile asks him to pay 1 million, and he closes the deal with the old man. The old man tries to convince him that if the feather works, it will have been worth it. Soon after, he arrives at the Thunder Forest, a place full of lightning. There, the boy remembers that the feather only shines 10 meters from the target and feels cheated. He throws himself on the ground in anger, shouting that if he were that close, he would see the bird with his eyes. Now calmer, he thinks that with his companion, crossing the forest will be easy. His partner Yi is very strong, and the boy thinks about getting another beast to become even more powerful. With a mischievous smile, he imagines the possibilities of having a new companion. But Yi, in her human form, seems to not like the idea of having competition at all. Suddenly, a chibi version of her appears and starts punching him in anger. The boy runs through the forest while his furious partner chases him non-stop. In the middle of the confusion, they hear a cry for help coming from nearby. A girl with pink hair is running away from a giant shadow leopard. The girl named Su Nianwei is a level 10 master tracker and is almost out of strength. In the rush, she ends up tripping over a tree root and can't get up. The girl falls to the ground and is completely vulnerable to the beast's attack. The leopard approaches her, ready to deliver the final blow with its sharp claws. Without hope, the girl closes her eyes and accepts her terrible fate. But a noise makes her open her eyes and she realizes that she is still alive. Our hero appears and with a powerful punch throws the beast away, saving the girl. Su Nianwei's jaw drops, not understanding what just happened there. He asks if she is okay and the girl wonders who this strong guy is. The girl gets up and screams for them to run away because the leopard is still a threat. But our hero smiles calmly and calls the giant beast a simple kitten. The boy tells her not to worry because someone will take care of the animal now. Then his companion Yi, in her giant insect form, goes on the attack. Yi bites the leopard's neck with incredible strength and immobilizes it. Then she applies a submission blow, breaking the beast's bones. The leopard is defeated, and the boy is impressed by the strength of his companion. The girl on the ground is confused and wonders if another beast has appeared to fight. He approaches her and checks if she was hurt during the fall. With a gentle smile, the boy extends his hand to help her up. She takes his hand, thinking that the insect must be a level 20 monster. Still scared, she pulls the boy and tells them to run away before the creature notices them. Suddenly, the body of the defeated leopard is thrown in front of them. Yi lands on the beast and stares at the girl jealously for her being with her master. The girl is terrified, but the boy just pets the insect's head. He promises a reward for Yi later, and the girl is even more confused. Su Nianwei doesn't understand anything that is happening and is stunned by the scene. Our hero says he will introduce himself, and Yi begins to shrink in size. He introduces himself as Lin Sai, a beastmaster, and says that the insect is his partner. The girl recognizes him from the rumors about a beastmaster, with hidden class Yi on his shoulder, continues to be jealous of the closeness between the two. Lin Sai explains that his goal in the forest is to capture a thunderbird. The girl reveals that she is a master tracker and offers to help as thanks. He thinks that her tracking ability will be very useful for his mission. They then decide to form a team, and the girl says that he can count on her. However, she explains that she needs an item from the bird in order to track it. He shows her the shiny feather, and she recognizes it as a rare and very expensive item. The girl warns that using her ability may destroy the feather, and so they will not be able to sell it later. The boy tells her not to worry because if the feather breaks, it will be all his fault, and the girl agrees. The girl then closes her eyes and begins to use her tracking ability with the shiny feather. Suddenly, her eyes open and she seems to have found something important. Smiling, the girl says that she found the way, and now she just has to follow the light to find the bird. The pair then walk through the dark forest, while the girl guides the way with the magic light. Out of nowhere, the boy stops her and warns her that there are many enemies ahead waiting for them. Worried, the girl asks what they should do in that dangerous situation. On his shoulder, Little Yi Yi is irritated by the girl's suggestion of taking a detour. The little ant doesn't seem to like the idea of running away from the fight that was about to come. With a smile on his face, he tells Yi Yi to go ahead to clear the way for them. He smiles when he receives 650 experience for defeating a thunder crow. Yi Yi, in her human form, defeats the monsters and complains that they were too weak for her triumphant. She is happy to have solved everything and thinks that her master will be proud. The girl is shocked by the defeated monsters, and he says that it was a piece of cake for his partner. Satisfied, he thinks that he has finally reached the level 11 and receives a notification from the system. In a moment of distraction, the pink-haired girl trips and falls face down on the ground. The boy asks his partner to return to normal, and she agrees with a smile on her face. The girl gets up confused and wonders if an enemy attacked them by surprise. She then sees him talking to the little ant and is shocked by the scene in front of her. The girl is relieved to see the ant, and the boy asks Yi Yi to return to her normal size. Yi Yi returns to being a giant ant, and the girl feels that the insect is aiming at her. A chibi version of Yi Yi appears and threatens the girl for trying to seduce her master. Back on his shoulder, the ant continues to stare at the girl with a look of pure hatred. The girl is enchanted by the little ant and thinks that she is too cute to be evil. With her eyes shining, the girl approaches and tries to pet the little ant. Desperate, the ant asks her master to save her from that annoying woman. The boy then stops the girl and says that Yi Yi will get angry if she keeps insisting. He then asks her to. Yi Yi goes ahead and defeats a few more monsters for them to pass. Some time later, night falls, and the moon is already shining brightly in the dark sky. The system notifications show that he has leveled up several times, reaching 15. The status screen shows that Lin Han is now level 15 and has a lot of points to distribute. The boy thinks that he has leveled up too fast and will soon be able to do more difficult missions. He looks at Yi Yi sleeping on his shoulder and notices that she has reached level 18. The girl comments that they have worked hard, and the boy seems exhausted from the journey. The girl shows the trail of destruction and says that they have almost destroyed the entire forest. She says that they can now find the Thunderbird without interruption and knows the direction. His partner on his shoulder makes a strange noise and he asks if there is any danger ahead. He thinks that his partner is an ancient beast and must be sensing a powerful presence. Finally, they find the level 13 Thunderbird on a tree branch. The boy smiles and thinks that he will gain a lot if he can get a contract with that bird. The eye of the big bird glows with electricity and it seems to have noticed their presence. Scared, the Thunderbird starts to fly away and the boy shouts that it is running away. The girl laments that they cannot fly and therefore will not be able to catch the bird. Suddenly, an intense yellow light begins to shine on our hero's back. The girl is completely shocked to see that he now has wings of light and is flying. With his new wings of light, he flies quickly towards the Thunderbird. Flying in the sky, he finally reaches the bird and begins to talk to the creature. With a smile, he offers the bird the chance to become his beast with food and shelter. The bird does not seem to like the proposal and tries to escape from him by flying even faster. The boy wonders why the bird's reaction was so exaggerated and becomes intrigued. He decides that he will have some fun with the bird and tells his companion to wait there. The pink-haired girl agrees and says that she will wait for him in that place flying. He tries to convince the bird to join him, promising that he will not regret it. But the bird is very fast, and our hero ends up missing the attack by a hairy margin. Annoyed, the boy complains that the creature managed to escape from him once again. Suddenly, the Thunderbird stops running away and begins to summon powerful lightning bolts. He smiles and praises the bird's courage for deciding to fight instead of continuing to run away. With a determined look, he warns that he will have to defeat the bird by force. Then he concentrates his energy in his fist and launches a furious blow in the direction of the bird. He finally manages to grab the bird by the neck, and a magical contract is formed. The boy looks at the bird's stats and realizes that it is much weaker than his Aunt Yi Yi. However, he remembers that the system has a function to strengthen its contracted beasts. The system informs that the evolution was a success, and the bird transforms into a woman. The screen shows that she is now a level 18 Thunder Emperor with very high stats. He is impressed because she has gone up 5 levels and gained a destruction ability. The new creature then lands gently on the ground with her high heel shoes. With a smile on her face, the woman bows and calls him master for the first time. The boy is shocked by her appearance and comments that she is much larger than Yi Yi. On his shoulder, the little ant Yi Yi is furious with the comment and with the new companion. In her human form, Yi Yi appears with a look of pure rage, ready to fight. The two begin to argue, and the Thunder Emperor threatens the little ant. He tries to calm the fight by saying that they are now a family, and Yi Yi must be the older sister. The girl then asks her new master to give her a name to seal the pact. He thinks for a moment and remembers an ancient poem that talks about thunder and heavens, so he decides to call her Tianlai, and she is very happy with the new name. He thinks that, despite her gentle appearance, she has a wild ability and wants to test it. Suddenly, he has an idea and realizes that there is a perfect opportunity for this. Meanwhile, the pink-haired girl waits alone and wonders where he went. The scene then cuts to a barbarian camp in the middle of the forest. He returns and the girl talks about a difficult mission to hunt down the barbarian leader. He says he will help her as thanks and to test the power of his new ally. Then he tells Tianlai to go ahead and show what she is truly capable of. The bird obeys and flies into the dark sky with her body covered in purple lightning. In the sky, she assumes her human form and prepares to use her special ability. With a war cry, she invokes her annihilating thunderstorm ability. A huge storm of purple lightning forms over the barbarian camp. The barbarians look up at the sky without understanding what is happening there at that moment. He thinks that the enemies are too weak and fears that Tianlai's attack is exaggerated. He tells Tianlai to just knock out the leader, and the girl wonders where the bird is. Smiling, the girl says she will obey the order of his master and prepares for the attack. A single bolt of lightning falls from the sky with incredible precision towards the camp. The bolt hits the ground right in front of the barbarian leader without seriously injuring him. The barbarian leader is terrified by the power of the lightning and tries to shoot an arrow. But Tianlai appears in front of him in the blink of an eye, leaving the man shocked. The man is enveloped by lightning and ends up being knocked out by the force of the attack. The girl asks if Tianlai has already attacked, and he watches her curiously about the situation. Suddenly, a branch falls in front of them, and the girl with pink hair gets scared. The bird returns carrying the unconscious leader, and the girl is shocked by how quickly it happened. He then hands the girl a knife and tells her to finish her mission. The girl holds the dagger with trembling hands and agrees to finish the job. With a quick movement, she finally finishes off the target of her mission. After that, the girl with pink hair thanks the boy for all the help he gave. As a thank you, she offers to be his guide in the city since he lives there. He declines the offer because she also helped him find the Thunderbird and says goodbye. As the boy walks away, the girl blushes and hopes they will meet again, alone with his beasts. He thinks he was lucky to get two in one day and now plans the future. With a serious look, the protagonist focuses on his next objective. Suddenly his cell phone rings, and it is a call from his friend Long, and he wonders what it could be. Answering the phone, he jokes and asks if his friend is calling him to eat something. But on the other end of the line, the colleague says that it is not time to eat because he has something important to talk about. The friend then asks if he has ever heard of a place called the Kingdom of Illusion. Meanwhile, we see images of warriors fighting against several powerful beasts. A warrior with a hood faces a monster with very large horns. The friend explains that the Kingdom of Illusion is a virtual place where no one really gets hurt. Inside, it is possible to face several different monsters to train your combat skills. Although it does not give experience, the place is used to train movements and new fighting techniques. He continues saying that his father managed to get a place for the boy because it is very difficult to get in. Our hero becomes thoughtful upon hearing about this unique training opportunity. He realizes that this place is perfect for training the teamwork of his two beasts. Meanwhile, Yi Yi and Tianlai promise to serve the master with a smile on their faces. The protagonist thanks his friend and says he will send him the address so he can go whenever he wants. The chubby friend jokes that he should not forget him when he becomes famous, and the boy agrees. The next day, our hero is woken up by his alarm clock that says 8 in the morning. As soon as he opens his eyes, he sees Yi Yi smiling and giving him a very cheerful good morning. Then Tianlai hugs him and says it is still early and he is unable to move. The two begin to argue because one thinks she is suffocating the master with her body. The argument becomes serious and the two begin to fight for real right there in bed. The boy thinks they look like adults but act like children, and that training is urgent. When he arrives at the place, a receptionist guides him and explains that he will enter a capsule. She says that he can choose the difficulty and that the rewards are given by the army. With a smile, he enters the hibernation capsule while his beasts watch him. The system then scans his data and shows that he is a level 15 summoner. A screen asks if he wants to enter the silver level dungeon, and he accepts the challenge. His little aunt Yi Yi is very excited about the master's decision. The Thunderbird Tianlai also celebrates and prepares for the battle that is to come. The screen finishes loading and wishes our protagonist a good trip. Thank you for watching. Above, the grandiose setting of the dueling arena quickly reveals itself and draws attention. Suddenly, 4 blue wolves surround the protagonist and his 2 companions. The situation is tense. Baring their fangs, the level 13 wolves advance towards the group. Irritated, one of the girls says that she will show who deserves to be at the master's side. The girl charges at the wolf to attack it and immediately shows her sharp claws. The wolf doesn't stay behind and retaliates with a direct attack, trying to hit the girl. The other girl points her finger, showing that she doesn't like her friend's attitude at all. Imposingly, a level 15 wolf appears. With this, the girl becomes even more tense with the situation. Despite this, the blue-haired girl is not intimidated and begins to concentrate her power to fight back. A powerful purple energy is released, showing how strong she can be. We see the protagonist observing the situation, while the 2 companions prepare to fight there. However, the protagonist complains that the 2 are taking this fight too seriously. The boy shows concern for the girl's safety and not for the fight itself. Thus, the 2 realize that they overdid it in the fight, even forgetting their duty. After all, they realize that their main duty is to protect the protagonist at all costs. The tension increases as level 20 wolves approach, showing that the challenge is only increasing. The image focuses on the blue wolves, who prepare to attack the protagonist without mercy. Soon, the system warns that the machine does not cause physical damage, but transmits pain faithfully. In addition, the system also warns that the user can give up the training if he wants to. The protagonist smiles confidently. After all, he thinks that this level of difficulty is acceptable. The wolf attacks with fury and the protagonist prepares to receive the impact of the attack there. Concentrated, the protagonist closes his hand, showing his determination to fight the monsters. With a powerful punch, he hits the wolf squarely, breaking the animal's defense without mercy. So, the protagonist uses his skill to defeat the wolf with relative ease. The girls are impressed by the strength the protagonist demonstrates at that moment. In turn, the protagonist shows confidence and says he will use everything he has to win. In response, the wolves howl, announcing that the real fight is just beginning. With that, the 2 girls prepare to fight alongside the protagonist with everything they have. They are ready to fight together and protect the protagonist at any cost there. The boy smiles confidently because he knows he is ready to face whatever comes his way there. So, the 2 are ready to fight with everything they have to protect their master. Outside, the camera shows the building where everything happens in virtual reality. A group congratulates a boy for passing the challenge quickly. The boy is really good. A girl observes the situation and comments on the challenge that the boy completed masterfully. The friends invite him to play in a group next time since it will be more fun. Watching, a blonde boy looks at her with an interested look, wanting to talk to her. In this, men in suits comment on the results obtained in the virtual challenge and find it all impressive. The data shows that the protagonist completed the final phase in 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Surprised, a man is astonished to learn that he passed the final stage in 9 minutes. Some wonder if he is one of the children of rich families who are learning to play. On the other hand, others say that he doesn't seem like such an important guy at school. However, a panel shows that he broke the record for the silver level challenge and surprises everyone. The girl and the others are even more surprised by the protagonist's new score. Back in the virtual world, the grandeur of the building impresses everyone there. From then on, the protagonist and his companions come across several wolves on the lookout. At that moment, the system informs him that he has won a sword for passing the challenge. Soon after, the system congratulates him and even tells him to try a gold-level challenge. We then see the boy leaving the virtual reality machine after successfully completing the challenge. Showing his seriousness, the protagonist walks through the corridors of the virtual reality building. Curious, people comment on how quickly he passed the challenge on site, and they also wonder how he suddenly became so famous in that place. No one understands. The girl watches him from afar and is happy that he stood out so much in the virtual challenge. But when he sees the protagonist attracting attention, the blonde boy gets irritated and doesn't like it at all. A man watches everything from above, from the virtual reality control center, and shows his attention. They talk about the protagonist's results and how fast he is. The numbers are impressive. There, the men comment on how he managed to win in such a short time. It's unbelievable. At that moment, the boss orders an investigation into the protagonist's past to find out more about him. The next day, inside the classroom, people talk a lot about the protagonist. Suddenly, the protagonist approaches, and we see the blonde boy staring at him angrily. Wanting to get satisfaction, the blonde boy yells at the protagonist and intimidates him a lot. The blonde boy asks what he wants and even makes fun of him, asking if he didn't get beaten up enough. Even more irritated by the comments from the people there, the blonde boy gets very angry. In an attempt to calm him down, one of the blonde's friends tells them to go have fun together. However, the blonde's friends continue to tease the protagonist, but he doesn't even care. By making fun of the protagonist, the blonde's friends irritate him. This makes him even more furious. Pointing at the protagonist, the blonde challenges him to a real fight and provokes him. Quite irritated, the blonde swears revenge on the protagonist and promises to get revenge. From then on, in a forest, energy beams fall, showing the power of that place. There, the protagonist prepares to face the dangerous monsters that live there. Very confident, the protagonist is determined to show his strength in that dark forest. The girl hugs the protagonist, happy to be by his side and fighting against the creatures together. However, the other girl comments that she is not that weak and also helps her friend a lot. At this point, the two begin to argue about who is more useful to the protagonist in that place. Realizing this, the protagonist tries to calm the two down to prevent them from fighting there. Annoyed, the protagonist ignores the two's fight and decides to go to an even stronger area. Then, the protagonist asks if they want to go to a gold-level area in the place. A sign soon indicates that they are entering the gold-level training area in the forest. Soon, the protagonist and her friends hide amidst the dense vegetation of the area. From there, the group comes across level 21 poisonous lizards hiding in the area. In view of this, the protagonist prepares to test his skills against the dangerous lizards. The protagonist attracts the attention of the lizards so that the girls can attack the animals. One of the girls attacks the lizard with precision, while the protagonist watches everything from there. Suddenly, one of the lizards opens its mouth, ready to strike the protagonist. At that moment, the girl is hit by the lizard's poisonous attack and screams a lot in pain. The girl tries to stand firm, but feels the poison spreading throughout her body. Thus, the girl says that she is not feeling well because of the lizard's poison. Seeing this, the protagonist realizes that the lizard's attack caused great damage to her. Then, the protagonist uses his ability to protect the girl from the lizard's attack. In turn, the other girl uses her power to attack the lizards with powerful rays. The lightning strikes the lizards head-on, causing great damage there and then. The girl's energy beams destroy the lizards there instantly, impressing everyone. There, the protagonist says that he needs to learn a new skill to use. Almost by magic, a skill book appears in front of the protagonist to teach him how to fight. Concentrated, the protagonist analyzes the information about the skill he wants to learn. Very confident, the protagonist shows conviction and decides to learn the new skill there. Then, with great concentration, the protagonist begins to learn the new skill successfully. The system informs him that he has successfully learned the poisonous cut skill and congratulates him. Thus, the protagonist celebrates having learned the new skill quickly in that place. Soon, the protagonist uses the new skill and causes great damage to the lizards there. As if by magic, poisonous spikes appear from the ground, hitting the lizards with precision. Desperate, the lizards try to escape the poisonous spikes, but unfortunately it is too late. The girl then attacks the lizards with lightning, while the protagonist uses his powerful spines. The system informs them that he has defeated several lizards and gained a lot of experience with the victory. Grateful, the girl says that they should thank the master for helping them in that place. The protagonist realizes that he has gained 4 levels in a short time there, in that dangerous place. Then, the protagonist notices that the other girl has attracted a level 22 tiger. Surprised, the protagonist smiles, because the girls are already level 20 in that scary place. Then, the girls join forces to attack the tiger and ensure victory for the group there. Then, the system informs them that the 2 girls have successfully reached level 20 in the game. With that, the protagonist says that, since they are already level 20, there is no point in staying there anymore. And so, the protagonist decides to return to the city and complete the main missions of the game. Once there, the protagonist enters the temple to change classes and advance in level. The protagonist then taps the screen to begin the evaluation missions of the sacred site. As a prelude, a panel announces that 5 ranking missions, 5 stars were released for him. The people there are shocked by the news of the rank 5 missions in the place. A woman comments that he will certainly complete the missions quickly. Fearful, the protagonist wonders if the missions will be too difficult for him to complete. Determined, the protagonist decides to complete the missions in order to advance in class. At night, the protagonist walks along the pier, thinking about the missions he needs to complete. In his thoughts, he wants to complete the missions quickly so he can go home and rest. The girls hug him and assure him that they will protect him from all the danger that may occur in the missions. However, the protagonist tells them to be very careful, as the danger in the missions is great. Soon after, a ship appears in the sea and they realize that their target has appeared in the place. One of the girls comments on the legend of the ghost ship and the danger it may represent. Suddenly, a skeleton appears on the ghost ship, and the protagonist is very frightened by the scene. Coming from the worst nightmares, a ghost appears in front of the protagonist and stares at him in a terrifying way. And then, the ghost extends its hand to the protagonist, and he becomes even more frightened by the scene. To finish, the ghost tells the protagonist that he will be the next to enter the ship. In turn, the protagonist is irritated by the ghost's boldness and challenges him right there. Impatient, the protagonist uses his wings of light to mercilessly attack the ghost ship. With that, the protagonist uses all his power to destroy the ghosts that are on the ship. Surprisingly, the system informs him that he defeated the ghosts and gained more experience. So, the protagonist decides to complete the missions as quickly as possible to get rid of that soon. At that moment, several ghosts approach the ship to attack the protagonist there at sea. At that moment, the 2 girls prepare to attack the ghosts and defend their friend from the dangers. Faced with this, the protagonist tells them to attack the ghosts with everything they have in that place. In turn, the girl uses her power to attack the ghosts with her lightning bolts there. However, the protagonist realizes that the ghosts are not as strong as he imagined. Soon after, the protagonist notices a strange movement there and pays attention to his surroundings. Several sinister skeletons emerge from the depths of the sea to attack the protagonist without mercy. Then, the protagonist uses a secret ability to merge with one of the skeletons and fight. Finally, a level 25 ghost pirate appears to fight the protagonist. Suddenly, a man fires shots at our protagonist and the woman on the ship. A girl then orders the man to attack while the others provide cover. The woman smiles confidently, anticipating the imminent battle. A group of girls appear, ready to confront the protagonists. One of the girls immediately fires quick and powerful lightning bolts at the man. The shots are deflected by another person who uses a special ability. The woman, in turn, attacks the ghost captain with a series of powerful punches. Suddenly, the girl looks back, looking proud. With a smile and red eyes, she praises the strength of her opponent's lightning. Confused, the protagonist scratches his head and asks for help to fight. Shortly after, the white-haired girl throws herself at the ghost captain. The young woman prepares a precise blow imbued with incredible power. Due to the impact of the attack, the ghost captain is thrown far away. Then the girl joins her hands and releases a devastating energy. The power hits the ghost ships head-on, destroying them completely. Surprised by the girl's power, our protagonist spits out some blood. Shortly after, he gains more experience for having defeated the captain. The 2 women celebrate their victory over their enemies. The protagonist comments that this was a good first collaboration. The The protagonist then concludes that the problem of the ghost ships has been solved and that he now needs to head to the Red Forest. The windflower emanates an intense glow while some monsters approach. The hero closes his eyes, concentrating on his senses. With a smile on his face, he announces that he quickly found the second material. The girl speaks up, revealing that the flower is the eye of the wind and that she intends to get it. The protagonist stops her, explaining that the trees are too dense. Another girl offers to help our protagonist in the mission. 10 minutes earlier, the other girl was already on her way to get the eye of the wind. She hands the item to the protagonist, who praises her work. In return, the ant girl shows sadness for not receiving praise. The ant girl throws herself on the ground and starts digging a hole. The protagonist and the other girl watch the scene curiously. The ant girl continues digging, now in a hole with dark earth. Finally, the ant girl emerges from the hole completely covered in earth. The girl decides to climb a giant tree in search of the eye of the wind. Almost reaching her goal, she shows confidence. The girl is about to get the eye of the wind for the protagonist. Our protagonist despairs, foreseeing that something bad is about to happen. Suddenly, the ant girl is thrown away with force. Monsters appear to protect the eye of the wind. The girl falls to the ground but gets up, determined to fight the monsters. The girl with wings runs to help her friend, joining the fight. She uses a skill to increase her speed drastically. In a quick movement, she carries the ant girl away from danger. Confused, the ant girl asks what is happening. Her friend explains that our protagonist requested her help. The winged girl informs the protagonist that she rescued her friend. Our protagonist smiles with a look of someone planning something. Suddenly, he orders them to run as fast as possible to escape. The monsters begin a relentless pursuit, moving at great speed. Confused, the two girls wonder what they should do. As they run, the red forest is engulfed in fire. The distressed protagonist asks the reason for the chase. In the middle of the escape, the protagonist opens his attribute screen. He then invests all his points in agility. The screen shows a drastic increase in his agility. Our protagonist shoots at high speed, surprising everyone. He assures them that they are close to a safe place. Worried, the ant girl asks what awaits them ahead. The protagonist advances towards the heart of the burning forest. The monsters are confused by his entry into the heart of the burning forest and fall behind. The monsters give up the chase. The girl asks if he planned everything to escape. He reveals that the boss of the monsters resides in that place. Then the long-awaited fire leaf is shown. Our protagonist announces that the third necessary material is there. The group moves to a hotter area in the hope of finding the item. Several monsters swim in a river of lava. The ant girl comments that the monsters are bathing. Our protagonist fixes his gaze on the item he needs to obtain. Shortly after, he finally finds the desired item. A notification appears informing him that he has received a mission. Surprised, he questions the reason for having received a mission. He analyzes the details of the mission he needs to complete. He asks the girl to get the item for him. The girl performs the task quickly and easily. She hands the item to the protagonist, who smiles broadly. With the item in hand, our protagonist comments on how easy the mission was. He begins to make plans to defeat the boss of the fire monsters. Suddenly, a man teleports in front of the protagonist. The man, accompanied by his henchmen, demands the immediate handover of the item. The protagonist questions their identity and the reason for their interest in the item. The man introduces himself as a member of the Magic Association. He claims that the association is an organization dedicated to protecting citizens. In reality, this association is a notorious gang in the region. The man threatens, demanding the handover of the item or risk attack. In a sudden fit of ambition, the man changes his mind and demands the handover of the two girls. Pointing at the protagonist, the villain says that he has changed his mind and now wants the two girls for himself. Our hero then responds that they are trash and that they should be recycled to protect the environment. The leader of the group is furious with the answer and wonders what kind of nonsense the boy is talking. Seeing that the young man will not cooperate, the leader orders his henchmen to finish him off and throw him into the fire. The henchmen then prepare fireballs and threaten that if he resists, things will get much worse. Despite the threats, Our protagonist remains calm with his hands in his pockets, releasing his aura. The two girls quickly advance towards the henchmen to protect their master. The other girl also releases her power and attacks one of the enemies with a powerful ray, shouting that he will pay. In an instant, all the henchmen are defeated and fall to the ground, completely without reacting. The leader of the group is shocked by the scene and wonders how those two women can be so strong. Our hero then introduces himself as a level 20 tamer and reveals that the two are his beasts. He explains that they are ancient beasts and that they can finish off the villain as if it were a joke. The villain thinks that the beasts do not abandon their master, so he plans to hurt the young man so he can escape. Concentrating his energy, he creates a purple sphere and throws it with all his might in the direction of our hero. The girl with blue hair appears in front of the attack and says that as long as she is there, no one will touch the master. The villain is completely shocked to see that his attack was blocked so easily. Suddenly, the other girl appears behind him and attacks him, saying that he will regret messing with her master. The girl beats up the villain, and the protagonist asks her not to finish him off because he has plans. A short time later, the whole group is tied up and the leader threatens, saying that the association will not forgive him. Our hero smiles and says that there are no hard feelings and asks why he would hurt them. The hero smiles and says that he has a mission for them, and the frightened villain asks what he wants to do. Suddenly, screams of despair echo throughout the cave filled with fire monsters. The group of tied-up villains are used as bait, being swung in the air while they cry for help. The blue-haired girl holds the rope and tells them to scream louder if they don't want to become food. The men beg for their lives and ask the girl not to let go of the rope under any circumstances. They are swung up and down, attracting the attention of all the fire monsters. Our protagonist watches everything with a smile, and the ant girl asks what he is up to. The young man explains that to fish the fire lizard king, you need to have bait to attract it. Then he snaps his fingers and the rope that was holding the villains breaks in half. The group falls to the ground, and the fire monsters begin to approach to attack. The creatures quickly surround the men who are now completely defenseless. The desperate leader tries to use lightning magic to drive away the approaching creatures. However, the attack has no effect on the monsters who continue advancing without any problems. One of the henchmen warns that the attack did not work, and a huge monster prepares to attack. The hero tells the girl to protect the useless guys so that they do not die so quickly. The girl then prepares to use a powerful skill to paralyze the monsters. The skill creates a large area of lightning that hits all the smaller fire monsters. Our protagonist says that's right and asks them to make even more noise to attract the boss. Suddenly, a huge explosion of fire comes out of the lava river, catching everyone's attention. The level 28 Fire Lizard King finally appears, and the hero celebrates that the big fish took the bait. The protagonist says that the plan worked, and orders the girl to bring the monster closer. The ant girl asks about the villains, and the hero says that they won't last long alone. He comments that the guys are criminals, and if the monsters don't catch them, he'll take care of it himself. Then she says that the priority now is the mission, and the ant girl advances to battle. A swift kick connects with a powerful thud, initiating the coordinated assault. The white-haired warrior follows up with a furious strike, aiming directly for the massive red beast's head. With a powerful cry, she tears into the creature's back, trying to rip its tough hide apart. She lands and turns, planning to maintain pressure on the beast to test its true strength. Meanwhile, her winged companion restrains a smaller glowing creature, following her master's orders. Their master watches with confidence, believing they can defeat the Salamander King through teamwork. But then, he suddenly grabs his head in pain, wondering what is happening to him. At that moment, the giant beast lets out a furious roar, sending both of his companions flying. It then unleashes a massive fireball as the young man yells for them to get out of the way. The two women turn in mid-air, bracing themselves to defend against the incoming blast. A massive explosion erupts, engulfing the entire area in a blinding light. After the blast subsides, someone lands firmly on the scorched ground. The young man rushes over to his two companions, who have been thrown to the ground by the impact. He holds the injured Tianyi, noting that the level gap is too wide, and considers withdrawing. However, she looks up at her master with resolve, insisting she can still continue the fight. Tianyi explains they can't give up on the master's important task, as retreating would only get them chased. Her companion agrees fiercely, stating that his wish is their wish, and she must help him succeed. Both warriors reassure him they will complete the mission as they charge back toward the beast. He is moved by their loyalty, realizing that just as he cares for them, they care for him too. Deciding to protect them, he plans a new strategy, noting the beast's immense size and defense. He observes that neither of his companions can inflict any significant damage with their current attacks. Concluding a frontal assault is too difficult, he realizes they need to change their approach. But then his eyes widen as a new idea suddenly strikes him. He spots the bleeding wound on the creature's neck that the white-haired warrior made earlier. He orders them to continue fighting but to focus on expanding the wound on the beast's neck. The warrior yells with determination, not knowing her master's plan, but trusting him completely. Her blue-haired companion agrees, stating that listening to their master is always the right choice. She follows the order, striking the wound repeatedly to slowly widen the opening. As soon as she creates an opening, her master commands Tianye to follow up with an attack. The winged girl obeys, unleashing a massive lightning blast that strikes the beast's weak spot. The ground cracks under the immense force of the attack, sending a powerful shockwave outwards. The two companions stand together, looking surprised by the aftermath of their combined assault. The giant beast glares down at them, taunting that after fighting for so long they still had little effect. But their master appears amidst crackling energy, stating that what they did was more than enough. He takes a determined step forward, his body now surging with a powerful yellow lightning aura. The young man explains that their attacks were only weak when used alone, revealing he can copy their skills. He demonstrates by combining their abilities, activating the ant's berserk mode and giant strength. Using a copied furious strike, he leaps forward to land a more effective blow on the beast. He then prepares to act as a lightning rod, copying defensive skills to endure the coming storm. The youth taunts the creature, informing it that he is about to unleash 1 billion volts of electricity. His powerful strike lands true, its force tearing the monster's existing wound open even wider. He grits his teeth, his body reinforced by copied abilities to withstand the overwhelming power. The full force of the devastating lightning attack surges down from the sky, channeled into the beast. Grabbing the salamander, he tells it to get ready to be turned into a piece of charcoal. A massive pillar of energy engulfs them both, as his companions can only watch the incredible scene. A system notification confirms the mission is complete, and he has successfully obtained the reward points. His companions thank their master, both celebrating a level up and feeling a surge of new strength. Standing triumphantly atop the fallen beast, the winged hero finally expresses his relief. He smiles, exhausted but satisfied that the grueling battle has finally come to an end. As his energy fades, he stumbles forward, but his companions rush to catch their master. He urges them to leave quickly, as the other mages are likely gone and more monsters will soon arrive. The next morning, they arrive at a grand and imposing temple to complete his class advancement. Inside, a system window confirms the mission's success, promoting him to an elite beastmaster. He is pleased with the result, noting that he also awakened 2 new skills, which made the mission worthwhile. Elsewhere, a public notice of the mission's completion leaves a crowd stunned by the incredible speed. A woman in a suit scoffs at their shock, saying that after seeing his progress, nothing surprises her anymore. Back with his team, the young man asks how much stronger his 2 companions have become. The ant warrior boasts that she feels much more powerful, showing off stats that leave her master completely speechless. His winged companion agrees the upgrade feels good, revealing she unlocked a new battle form, which also stuns him. He sulks in a corner, unable to believe the massive stat difference between him and his companions. He decides that since they are his companions, the stronger they are, the better for him. He then remembers the class advancement rewards he had not checked yet, and starts to consider his options. The system offers him 3 new skills: fusion, telepathy, or perception shielding. His companions walk up behind him, curiously asking what he is looking at on the screen. Both girls get excited about the fusion ability, eagerly encouraging him to choose it. He realizes that fusing their powers would be far more effective than simply copying their skills. Convinced, he decides to pick the simple and direct fusion ability for now. His companions cheer for his decision, while he suggests they find a chance to test it soon. Just then, one of his companions calls out to their master, getting his attention. A new mission alert appears, surprising him with its timing as his team looks on. The mission requires him to bind a third Imperial beast, offering a reward of points. He smiles, thinking to himself that this type of mission is practically a guaranteed win. Hearing this, the ant warrior begins to cry, afraid her master might not want her anymore. A hand gently pats her head, offering a moment of comfort to calm her down. Her winged companion reassures her, stating that their master would never abandon them. His winged companion smiles and asks for confirmation that he would never leave them, making him look nervous. He quickly changes the subject, stating their priority is to continue training for a big event coming up. Both of his companions look surprised, asking him what big event he is referring to. A few days later, a speaker addresses a crowd of students at the Wuzhou High School entrance exam ceremony. The white-haired man on stage announces that it is the big day for various colleges to recruit new students. In the crowd, the young man thinks he almost forgot the exam, glad he remembered before a certain ice sister got mad. Suddenly, his ant companion's voice cries out in his mind that she does not want to stay put. Inside his beast space, the girl is crying out for her master, who tells them both to calm down. He feels bad for putting them in the storage space, but knows this formal event is not the right place for them. The speaker on stage welcomes the university leaders with a round of applause from the students. He introduces two of the representatives, Director Li from Beitian Academy and Director Liu from Qingji Academy. His friend gets excited, remarking that it is rare for two top empire academies to recruit in their small town. The friend asks the young man which of the two prestigious schools he would prefer to attend, but he points to the stage, more interested in knowing which academy the man in the military uniform represents. The announcer introduces him as Chief Ye Tai from the military academy, a figure his friend calls a true big shot. His friend asks about his current level and what beasts he has contracted, to which he replies, he is level. The friend notes how much stronger he seems, but the hero casually asks about his companion's own class advancement. Nearby, a blonde-haired youth scoffs at them, muttering about someone's empty boasting and lies. He then loudly confronts the hero, telling him to admit his lack of strength instead of bragging shamelessly. The hero's companion steps forward defensively, but the young man calmly acknowledges the newcomer, Feng Yong. Feng Yong brings up a past gambling debt of 100,000 dragon coins, demanding to be paid back immediately. The blonde youth points aggressively, declaring that the hero is no match for him today, but his opponent just seems unfazed. With a smirk, the young man replies that Feng Yong is about to be very disappointed. Before they can argue, the announcer on stage declares the start of the exam, which has two parts. He explains the initial level test is mainly for students to assess their strength and form teams for the next stage. The second stage is a practical exercise that will judge their teamwork and adaptability on the battlefield. A blue-haired girl listens intently as he mentions the top 3 teams will get special resources and priority selection. To prevent cheating, he announces that only pure teams of students can advance to the end. With the rules explained, he officially begins the exam, wishing all the students the best of luck. Students line up for the level test, where a crystal ball that detects levels up to will prevent any cheating. The level tests begin with the announcer calling out students' names and their modest ranks, like a level blacksmith. A teacher watches on, quietly wondering how her student, Lin Han, has prepared for this life-changing exam. She suddenly gets angry, remembering how he had the nerve to refuse a rare beast she had captured just for him. An onlooker thinks to himself that Teacher Bai should be more careful about who she chooses to defend so fiercely. Her blonde-haired rival approaches her, wondering aloud what she sees in a worthless student like Lin Han. The teacher clenches her fist, telling him to hurry up and test, warning him not to badmouth her student again. The youth smirks, confidently claiming that even without her saying anything, he is still much stronger than Lin Han. He steps forward to the crystal ball, vowing to show everyone his innate talent as it lights up, showing level Teacher Bai looks on in disbelief, shocked to see he has reached the rank of an elite giant sword user at level. The crowd murmurs in awe, realizing his high score will make him a top recruit for the university directors. The rival turns to the hero, telling him to see the huge gap between them, as he is now the strongest in the school. But the protagonist calmly suggests he might not be the strongest, because his score has just been beaten. He points past his rival, who turns around with a confused look on his face, wondering what he means. A blue-haired girl stands by the crystal ball, which now shows level, shocking everyone with her high rank. The announcer proudly tells the university leaders that Leng Shui is the pride of their school, with both top scores and talent. The academy directors are impressed by the girl's performance, agreeing she is a great talent with a promising future. The military director then asks about another top student named Lin Han, wondering if he has arrived yet. Just then, the announcer calls out his name, and the hero steps forward with a calm smile. The military man recalls that Lin Han is the student who broke a previous record, curious to see his performance. His rival taunts him, stating that the test will expose any lies about his true strength. The blonde youth smirks, eagerly waiting to see the hero humiliate himself in front of everyone. His teacher becomes furious, clenching her fist and thinking the rival needs to be taught a lesson. But the hero calmly stops her, telling his teacher the best way to deal with a clown is to put him in his place. He adds with a confident smile that he can no longer wait to do exactly that. Seeing his confidence, she simply smiles and encourages him to go ahead with the test. The youth places his hand on the crystal ball, wondering what will happen since he is already past level. As his hand touches the orb, the energy inside it begins to surge and crackle uncontrollably. The crystal ball starts to shake violently, and his teacher nervously asks if this is normal. Suddenly, the orb cracks under the immense pressure, with bright light bursting from within it. The crystal explodes into countless pieces, showering the hero with glowing fragments as he stands in shock. The crowd stares in disbelief, and the hero's friend asks what just happened. His teacher rushes to his side to check if he is injured, but he assures her that he is okay. The teacher wonders why the testing device would suddenly shatter, while the hero silently speculates it was due to his high level. His rival laughs mockingly, claiming his power was so weak it broke the machine and tells him to just withdraw. A smug-looking man with red hair agrees with the rival's taunt. The man, an exam proctor, approaches and accuses the hero of lawlessness for breaking the only test device. The hero recognizes the proctor, remembering his past troubles and how he somehow avoided punishment from the dean. His teacher quietly warns him that the proctor is the brother of a man he previously reported and likely holds a grudge. The proctor turns to the directors, formally reporting that the student has damaged school property and failed the test. He then recommends that the hero be disqualified from the combat drill, leaving the young man shocked. The hero calmly steps forward, stating that an exam proctor should not bring personal grudges into the exam hall. Enraged, the proctor grabs the student by his collar, telling him to stop his useless struggling. He dismisses the Beastmaster profession as worthless and not deserving of the director's precious time. One of the directors agrees, commenting that it's too difficult to cultivate a Beastmaster without vast resources. The proctor smirks, telling the hero that he heard the director's final judgment on the matter. The school dean can only stand by with a grim expression, awaiting the final verdict on his student. Both the proctor and the blonde rival smirk, believing the hero's career path has just come to a premature end. But the young man speaks up, questioning if a person's strength should not be judged by their combat performance. The military director agrees, stating the level test was merely for gathering info, and the real test is the combat drill. His firm statement makes the other two academy directors look down, questioning their own judgment. They nervously agree to watch the second round, adding that this student might provide an unexpected surprise. The military chief then asks the school dean if this new arrangement is acceptable to him. The dean gratefully thanks the directors for giving his student another chance to prove himself. His teacher tells him this is a rare opportunity. Surprised, the impartial director defended him. She grabs her student and shakes him, telling him to do his best to prove his doubters wrong. The blonde rival scoffs that he is just lucky, taunting that no matter what, trash will always be trash. He then lets out a loud, mocking laugh, completely assured of his own superiority. The hero turns with a cold expression, daring the youth to repeat what he just said. His eyes glow with a menacing red as he warns his rival that he wouldn't mind dealing with him during the fight. He then challenges him to settle it on the battlefield, a challenge the rival furiously accepts. The announcer begins the second round, the combat drill, instructing students to form teams of up to 3. He adds that the entire test will be live-streamed, so the university directors will be watching their every move. In the courtyard, a chubby guy approaches our hero and invites him to form a team. The guy in the white sweatshirt accepts the proposal, and the two form a partnership right there. Suddenly, a girl appears, all embarrassed, calling the protagonist's name. She introduces herself as Yu Ting and asks if she can join their team. His friend then comments that our hero is quite popular because the hottie from the other room came after him. However, the guy gets serious because joining her might end up exposing some important secret, so he declines the girl's invitation and says that his team is unfortunately already full. He adds that she will definitely find a much better team than theirs. His partner then whispers, asking why he rejected her if fighting without a girl is boring. The girl replies that she knows he broke the record, and that only with him can she win the championship. She then asks for one chance, and even though she is level 15, she assures the team that she won't get in the way of the team in any way. Seeing her sincerity, the guy thinks she seems very straightforward and won't cause any problems in the battle. His partner then insists that the protagonist accept the request because the girl is practically begging him. Unable to stand his friend pestering him any longer, the hero gives in and agrees to let her join just to have some peace. The girl is overjoyed with the news, and her eyes shine with excitement at the opportunity she's been given. Soon after, they take the application form with the 3 names to a woman named Bing. The white-haired woman looks at the paper and is surprised to see that Ju Ting from Group 3 is on their team. The hero then explains that the girl's profession fits well with the team, which is why she decided to accept her. The woman is sorry because she wanted to nominate another girl for their team, but another guy got there first. The protagonist approaches and tells Bing not to worry because her team will definitely win. He then jokes that he's afraid she won't get a team and will end up embarrassing Group 6. The woman is embarrassed and asks our hero to be very careful during the challenge she's about to face. She also tells him not to overexert himself and to call her if something unexpected happens. Then the boy hugs her to comfort her, and the girl ends up accepting his affectionate gesture. His companions call him because a portal has opened, and it's time for them to go on their mission. Stepping away, he thinks of all the people who are supporting him and rooting for his success. With a determined look, he realizes that this time he can no longer hide his true power. Arriving at a desolate place, they discover that the place is divided into 3 different areas. The protagonist's friend then looks at his bracelet, which he uses to see the ranking and ask for help. Soon after, all the students run towards the monsters to begin the battle. Elsewhere, a blonde guy easily defeats 2 fire lizards with his swords. Suddenly, our hero's partner is surrounded by 3 of those fire creatures. She then points her finger and prepares an ice ability to attack the enemies. With a single movement, the girl completely freezes all the monsters around her. Their team, he earns another 160 points by defeating 4 more salamanders. Far away, everyone watches live on a large screen what's happening inside the battle arena. On the screen, 2 men comment that a team is already in first place with 240 points. The scoreboard then shows our protagonist's team in last place, and still without any points. A red-haired man then mocks that the hero's team is a disgrace for not having achieved anything yet. The white-haired girl thinks everyone there is blind and doesn't see the boy's potential. Suddenly, a danger alert appears on the screen, showing our hero's team. A drone informs them that they have reached the silver area with monsters ranging from levels 10 to 20. The boy then looks at his glowing bracelet and thinks to himself. He receives a message from a rival bragging about being the #1 student in the whole school. Seeing the provocative message, the hero gives a slight smirk. His friend turns to the girl and says the hero is a bad guy who takes advantage of others. Suddenly, a system notification pops up in front of the hero, with a blue glow. The screen displays a hunting quest. Defeat 10 gold-level beasts for 1,000 points. His partner grows worried, saying they're not even strong enough for the silver creatures. The girl explains that those monsters attack in groups, and the battle will be really tough. The boy then tells them not to worry. Their only job is to stop the enemies from escaping. They move forward into the gold zone, while a strange wolf watches them from a distance. A system window appears, and identifies the creature as a level 18 hound. His partner says something, and the hero is shocked by what he just heard. The boy clenches his fist, bracing for the creature's imminent attack. He then lands a powerful punch on the wolf, sending it flying, leaving his friend stunned. His partner shouts a warning as an entire pack of red-eyed wild hounds surrounds them. With a single strike, the hero defeats 5 hounds at once, and the team earns 450 points. His teammates are stunned, and the girl thinks she may have joined a true expert. Stepping on the fallen beast, The boy asks if they've decided to head into the gold zone. The girl and his friend give a thumbs up, clearly excited to continue. Outside, on the big screen, a major danger alert appears as the team enters a new zone. A teacher starts arguing with Bing, blaming her for letting the girl go into the dangerous silver zone. Bing calmly asks the teacher to relax and says the boy knows exactly what he's doing. Behind her, the red-haired teacher mocks, claiming the boy knows he can't win and will sacrifice the team. The white-haired woman immediately confronts him and asks where his morals are as a teacher. He replies that the area isn't meant for rookies and says the boy's teammates are done for. Suddenly, one of the teachers gasps and asks how the hero's team scored so many points. The big screen updates, showing the boys' team has earned 450 points and jumped to 10th place. A high-ranking official is stunned to read the boy's name on the scoreboard. Soon after, their score rises again. The team gains another 120 points in total. Shocked by the numbers, Bing orders the cameras to pull up the hero's team footage. On screen, a small purple creature finishes off a blue wolf, while the others watch. His partner is amazed watching his electric summons annihilate all the wolves nearby. One of the teachers comments that the beasts aren't ordinary, and maybe they're the boy's greatest weapon. Even so, the red-haired teacher refuses to believe and says 2 summons aren't enough for the silver zone. Back in the arena, the point notifications keep popping up as their score rises fast. The other teacher remarks to Bing that the 2 creatures are true point machines. The red-haired teacher stands speechless, realizing that at this rate, they could actually take first place. The white-haired woman teases the other teacher, who awkwardly apologizes for doubting the boy. Bing realizes he had a better option, and that's why he turned down her offer as the scoreboard keeps rising. With his electric summon, the protagonist finishes off another monster with a powerful lightning-filled attack. His teammate celebrates that they've moved into 5th place, but the girl corrects him, saying they're already 3rd. The boy then informs the team they've cleared the area and need to find a new spot. His partner is amazed by his strength, and the girl adds that no one in their class is even close to his level. With a side smile, the protagonist then asks, "Whoever said I was in my 2nd transition?" His teammates are shocked and ask if the boy is already in his 3rd transition. His friend asks how he reached the 3rd transition, and the boy tells him to calm down and talk properly. The hero says the silver zone is no longer enough, and that he'll lead them into the dreaded gold zone. Watching from the big screen, the other teacher is stunned and wonders if they've gone insane by entering the gold zone. Professor Bing looks worried, wondering if the boy will really be able to handle such danger. The red-haired teacher mocks, saying the hero is full of himself and an idiot for overestimating his strength. The white-haired woman confronts him and asks if he doesn't see that the summons are as strong as gold-ranked monsters. She adds that a good teacher should trust their students, and the man has no reply to that. Angrily, the teacher remembers that the hero sent his brother to prison and swears he'll get revenge. Right after that, we see the border of the zones, with several blue wolves already defeated on the ground. In that area, a blonde guy says that at this pace, the protagonist will never catch up to their points. Suddenly, a message appears on his phone, and the boy stops what he's doing to read it. The red-haired teacher informs him that the hero's team is now in 2nd place and entering the gold zone, then shares a location. His partner suggests they don't move forward. If they run into silver monsters, it'll be a problem. But suddenly, the blonde disappears, and the girl wonders where he went after defeating that blue wolf. With a scared expression, she senses a powerful creature approaching the area. Moments later, the boy appears running from a giant level 20 ape, yelling for his partner's help. With a wicked smile, he thinks it was a good thing the teacher gave him the monster's location. However, the beast is much faster than expected and slashes at him before he can react. At the last second, his partner uses a spell to create an ice barrier, protecting him from the blow. The ice spikes strike the ape in the chest with force, pushing it back and saving the boy from danger. The creature roars in pain and rage as the ice spreads, but it's clearly not enough. The blonde yells at his partner to stop whining and fight the monster. Frustrated, the girl prepares a new ice attack with her powers. Furious, she thinks joining that guy was a huge mistake. She regrets ever being part of his team. With a furious roar, the giant beast easily breaks the ice crystals stuck to its muscular body. Trying again, the girl launches multiple ice spikes from the ground toward the monster, which charges at her at full speed. But the ape completely ignores the attack and smashes through the spikes with its body. The girl is stunned by its resilience. The creature rushes forward and swings its claw at full force, aiming straight at the girl standing before it. The monster is about to hit her head-on. She screams in fear, unable to dodge the attack. With her eyes shut tight, the girl waits for the final blow, her sweaty face showing just how terrified she is. Suddenly, a powerful punch slams into the ape's face, sending it flying to the side. The girl opens her eyes, shocked by the sudden help. The blue-haired girl is left speechless, unable to believe what she just witnessed. Turning around, she sees the protagonist approaching, one of his summons flying overhead. He walks up and asks what they were thinking coming to a place like this. Suddenly, the hero's small summon charges at the giant ape with a fast strike. In the sky, the bird summon prepares a powerful lightning attack to support the battle. The electric blast hits the monster right in the chest, while the other creature leaps away from danger. With the combined assault of both summons, the giant ape finally falls to the ground, defeated. The girl is amazed, wondering how his summons are so strong that they can defeat a level 20 monster. The hero then scolds them, asking who gave them the nerve to fight such a powerful creature. The blonde guy turns away and leaves the area, surprising the hero with his reaction. The protagonist thinks that if he had known the guy was there, he would have arrived sooner to help. With dirty hands, the boy leans on the ground, furious for having been saved by someone else. Turning around, he glares at our hero with pure hatred for interfering. The blonde guy grabs the protagonist's shirt and yells, demanding to know why he stole his prey. He grips the hero's clothes tightly and doesn't seem like he's going to let go anytime soon. His partner steps in and says that without the hero's help, he would have been crushed by the monster. Annoyed with the girl, the guy shrugs off her hand and says he didn't need to be saved. Tired of his attitude, the girl slaps him across the face, leaving him stunned. Furious, the blonde stares at her, but the girl meets his gaze and says she's not afraid of him. She reminds him that they had a deal and that their relationship is strictly transactional. She warns him that if he keeps acting like this, things won't end well for him, and the guy is left speechless with rage. The hero comments that the fight was fun, but he needs to go since his friends are waiting. With a wicked smile, the blonde thinks to himself that the hero's arrogance won't last long. The rival adds that he prepared a special gift for the protagonist in the gold zone. At the edge of the gold zone, the hero's teammates worry about how long he's been gone. Suddenly, the protagonist returns and asks his friends if they're okay after all this time. His friend runs toward him crying and desperately asks where he's been all this time. He clings to the hero's leg, sobbing in fear from being stuck in the dangerous gold zone. Suddenly, a blue creature leaps from the shadows and charges straight at them. While the hero tries to calm his friend, a level 28 wolf appears, ready to strike. The boy's eyes turn serious as he prepares for the coming fight. With a swift move, he lands a powerful punch directly on the wild creature's jaw. The blow is so strong it sends the monster flying backward violently. A system window pops up, informing him that he gained over 2,000 experience points from the victory. The girl realizes these wolves usually hunt in packs, and that could be a problem. Moments later, an entire pack of level 28 wolves surrounds the team, but the boy just grins confidently. The monsters he defeated earlier helped level up his summons. He then commands his summons not to hold back, and to turn all the wolves into experience within 10 minutes. Soon the system announces that he has defeated several wolves, and leveled up to level 26, gaining many points. His ant summon attacks one of the wolves with its blue flames, and defeats it with no trouble. His bird summon also uses its lightning to annihilate another beast, and the hero rises to level 27. In a short time, the entire wolf pack is wiped out, leaving his teammates stunned at the sight. He checks his status, and sees the mission is complete, though he finds it strange that so many wolves appeared right away. Thinking ahead, he uses his 1,400 points to increase his strength stat. Suddenly, a small blue ant with red eyes appears, watching everything from afar. The tiny creature suddenly jumps onto the hero's chest and calls him master, startling his teammates. A large blue ant rests on the master's chest. Its spirit form worries that the big dog was defeated while he asks the creature to get off him. The ant's spirit thinks its master smells good. The young man then notices the bloodstains covering his chest are not his own. A phoenix-like beast appears, telling the ant not to monopolize their master. He sits up, reminding them they must continue killing monsters. A girl is impressed by the hero's skills and his beast-taming ability. Her companion simply tells her to get used to his surprising talents. The hero turns to his companions, offering them 2 nether wolves to finish off for experience points, since they followed him this far. The students eagerly accept, their eyes glowing menacingly as they thank Father Lin. Even the wolf seems intimidated by their sudden change. After the battles, the boy checks his wristband, curious about their current ranking in the competition. He is stunned to see their team is in first place with a massive lead. His companion calmly tells him they took the lead some time ago. Elsewhere, 2 men watch the rankings on a large screen. One notes the incredibly high score, crediting it entirely to Lin Han's efforts. The larger man clenches his fist with determination, declaring that his school, Kungsheng, must recruit the talented student. His companion scoffs, questioning Kungsheng's ability to teach beast tamers. He insists the young man should join his school, Baitian, instead. The Kungsheng teacher questions Baitian's greatness and resources. The Baitian teacher retorts that they are stronger, daring him to a fight. Nearby, a woman and an older man watch the argument unfold. She is surprised to see two major schools fighting over one of her students. The two men agree to settle it with a fight. The winner gets to recruit Lin Han, and they agree not to back out if they lose. Just as they are about to fight, the Baitian teacher's expression shifts to shock as he stares at something behind his rival. A man in a military uniform interrupts them, pointing out that they have overlooked the most important person involved in this matter. The two teachers recognize him as Director Ye from the military academy. They know their institutions cannot compete with the military. The director admits he admires Lin Han, but he believes the choice of which academy to join should depend entirely on the student's own opinion. He sternly orders both of them to sit down and wait quietly for Lin Han to come out before they continue their discussion. Intimidated, the two men look down and meekly agree to follow the director's command without another word. Meanwhile, the school dean is moved to tears, declaring it a great day for the school. His colleague tells him to calm down. The woman then smiles, agreeing that Lin Han is truly outstanding and deserves all the achievements he has earned. Elsewhere, a furious man watches the rankings, wondering how the waste Lin Han became so strong. He orders Feng Yong to kill him. In the silver leveling zone, Feng Yong stares at his screen in disbelief, unable to accept that Lin Han's team has surpassed his. He turns to his partner Leng Lingshui, insisting they still have a chance to tie the score and take back first place. She just smirks at his words, sarcastically asking him what kind of big dream he is having. The blonde youth gets angry, questioning if she no longer wants the level 20 weapon he promised her. His companion calmly replies that her strength is nearly gone, telling him to get the points himself if he has the ability. Frustrated, he relents for now, deciding to let Lin Han be proud for a while since he believes danger will find him soon. Soon after, the trial officially concludes. A group of officials stands before a portal, welcoming all the students back. Feng Yong and Leng Lingshu emerge from the portal, their team officially ranked second in the trial. The dean welcomes them back, commending their teamwork. He specifically praises Leng Lingshu for her skill in taking down powerful foes. He continues his assessment, noting that Feng Yong's performance was remarkable. However, the youth was impatient and almost caused trouble. The dean calls them both outstanding talents. He then looks around, asking why their classmate Lin Han has not appeared yet. The blonde youth smirks, recalling how he smeared demon ape blood on Lin Han. He believes the blood would attract beasts to kill him. Just then, a voice announces that Lin Han and his team are back. Feng Yong and his partner turn around in shock. Lin Han and his two friends walk out of the portal as the first-place team. He never expected they could achieve this rank. Feng Yong is in disbelief, shouting that it is impossible for Lin Han to have survived. The hero just smiles calmly while his rival can't understand why the plan failed, wondering how he survived the gold zone. The two academy teachers rush past the stunned rival, pushing him aside as they run eagerly toward Lin Han. The Qinsheng teacher offers scholarships and resources, while the Baitian teacher promises to take responsibility for his beast tamer. Lin Han and his friends are taken aback by the two directors' intense enthusiasm, finding it a bit overwhelming. The two men continue to shout, each pleading desperately for the young man to choose their academy over the other. The students watch, thinking the teachers from the prestigious academies look more like old liars trying to cheat people. Director Ye steps forward, interrupting the argument. He politely asks the two if he can have a chat with Lin Han first. The blonde youth starts sweating nervously, pretending he does not understand what Lin Han is talking about. A woman in heels steps forward, her presence drawing the attention of those nearby. The white-haired teacher puts a hand on her student's shoulder, reminding his rival that cameras recorded everything. Feng Yong's accomplice simply lets out a small, confident laugh, not looking worried at all. The hero watches their exchange, his expression hardening as he senses that something is wrong. The rival smugly asks the red-haired examiner to show his monitor. Lin Han realizes this is a setup. The examiner holds up a broken camera drone, claiming it was damaged during battle and can no longer play back footage. The teacher reaches for the device, angrily declaring that it is impossible for the camera to be broken. The red-haired man thinks they are fools. With the surveillance camera destroyed, there is no way to prove anything. Suddenly, a voice offers another camera for viewing, causing the examiner to shout in disbelief. Director Yi holds up his phone, explaining the military installed its own cameras to monitor every student. He projects the footage for everyone to see, admitting he did not expect it to be used as evidence. The video shows the blonde youth crouching over a demon ape and deliberately gathering its blood on his hand. The footage then shows him grabbing the hero and smearing the blood onto his chest, shocking the crowd. The director explains that this was done to attract powerful beasts and get Lin Han's team killed. The director's eyes glow with fury. He tells the student he is lucky not to be one of his soldiers, or he would regret framing a companion. The blonde youth is terrified by the threat, sweating as he is unable to form a coherent response. The dean angrily points at his student, expelling him for his despicable act and for ruining the school's reputation. But the hero interrupts, telling the dean that the disgraced student is merely a pawn in a larger scheme. He questions how a student would know about the blood's effects and why his surveillance camera would so conveniently break. He then turns to the red-haired examiner, noting the coincidence of his brother's hostility and the broken camera in his hands. The hero suggests that in this game of chess, the examiner is the one truly pulling the strings from behind the scenes. The examiner quickly denies any involvement, raising his hands and claiming he would never do such a thing. He even expresses his shame for being associated with such a despicable person, trying to distance himself from the plot. The disgraced student panics, turning to the examiner and begging him not to abandon him like this. He confesses that it was the examiner who sent him a message about the blood and ordered him to frame the hero. Before he can say more, the examiner silences him with a swift and powerful kick directly to the face. The force of the blow sends the blonde youth flying backward, and his phone falls from his pocket as he hits the ground. A hand reaches down and quickly picks up the fallen device from the ground before anyone else can react. The white-haired teacher now holds the phone, looking at its screen with a curious and focused expression. The teacher is shocked to find a message from the examiner on the phone, confirming the student's story. Panicking, the red-haired man lunges forward, shouting that it is a false accusation while trying to grab the phone. The school's dean appears behind him, his face filled with rage as he scolds the examiner for his despicable behavior. Without hesitation, the dean delivers a powerful punch, slamming the examiner into the ground with overwhelming force. With the culprit subdued, the dean suggests they hand him over to the military for proper punishment. The director looks down on the fallen man, promising him a punishment he can't imagine for abusing his power. The other academy teachers agree, declaring that neither of their prestigious schools will ever admit the disgraced student. Hearing this, the blonde youth collapses in despair, realizing that his future is now completely ruined. Lin Han reflects that his pet ant, immune to the demon blood, was the key to discovering the scheme so quickly. He is also impressed by the director's skill, thinking it would be great to enter the military academy. Just then, the military director turns and addresses the young hero, capturing his full attention. He praises the student's performance and officially invites him to the military academy, but warns of its rigorous training. The director tells the young man that the choice is his alone, urging him to consider the difficult path carefully. He advises the student not to rush into a conclusion, suggesting it is better to take a closer look at all options. At that moment, the other two academy teachers rush back in, boasting that their faculty is the best in the empire. The dean watches the scene unfold, noting it is the first time colleges have competed so fiercely for one of his students. He decides to support him. Later, on a large stage, the dean announces that the exams are over and the awards ceremony will now begin. He starts by announcing the third-place winners, a group of 3 smiling students who proudly accept their ranking. Second place is awarded to Feng Yong and Leng Ling Xu. The blonde youth grinds his teeth in fury while his partner remains emotionless. Finally, the first-place prize goes to Lin Han and his 2 companions, who step forward looking confident and proud. The dean presents the young hero with his prizes, a villa in the city center and an advanced skill book called Heavenly Fist. He also receives a gold-level amplification necklace that can boost his attributes by 20% for 3 minutes. Lin Han expresses his gratitude to the school, while secretly feeling excited about the villa where he can live with his companions. The dean tells him to save his thanks for when he returns successful, then asks the teacher, Bai Bing, to show him the villa. A car drives along a path leading to a large modern villa surrounded by towering skyscrapers. Inside the car, the teacher asks Lin Han if he has decided on an academy. He admits he does not know and asks for her advice. She suggests Qingbei for a stable path, but adds the military academy is excellent for training and pursuing greater goals. The hero considers this, thinking that without his system, Qingbei would be best. But with his regression ability, his needs are different. He realizes that what he lacks most are beast-taming points, which he can only gain through honing his skills in battle. He then tells her there is no need to consider it further and that he will go to the military academy. She smiles, offering her future support. He nods, realizing her family can't help with the military academy. He thinks she is just trying to spare him from any pressure, but he smiles, feeling no pressure at all. With his two spirit companions by his side, he feels completely confident. His two spirit companions appear, agreeing to serve him well. Seeing them, he playfully admits that perhaps there is some pressure after all.